tired of the constant increase in rates or change in benefits? Now's the time to take a look at a different type of plan. At Saganiac Planning, it's called level funding, an opportunity to keep premiums low and possibly receive a return of your premiums. For more on level funding, call Jack Saganiac, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
What's the fake? Pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Now broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, ESPN legend John Anderson, and former Packer Brian Bulaga. Here's Alex Strove.
All right, away we go. Week 8, Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Sunday Night Football as the Packers face their former quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Alex Strove, Super Bowl champion Brian Bulaga, ESPN and Wipeout legend John Anderson with you. Gabe Neitzel on assignment this evening. Fellas, really good to see you. But before we even get to the Packers game, I'm actually going to do something we have not done on the show before. And I'm going to kick it to our producer in the very first segment. Will Summers is our producer of Green Bay Game Day. And right before, he's a Bears fan, right before we jumped on the air as they lose to the Ravens, snapping their 4-game winning streak, he said to me, I hope your NFL Sunday isn't ruined. So, real quick, I just want to give like a quick 30-second confessions of a Chicago Bears fan. How we doing over there?
The thought that the Bears potentially could have messed up the draft and not drafted Drake May has crept into my brain. Potentially, though. I'm not going to admit it yet.
Okay, sure, potentially.
Believe it or not, when your defense doesn't get 4 interceptions in a game, it's a lot harder to win. And the offense just looked really bad. A lot of field goals, and Cairo Santos sucks.
All right. There you have it. There you have it. Doesn't sound deflated at all. Ravens 30, Bears 16. The Bears now 4-3 on the season. And with that said, we turn our attentions to Sunday Night Football as it's the Packers and the Steelers. John, happy Sunday to you. How we doing?
Nothing to see here, folks. Move on. Please keep traffic rolling. Everything's fine.
Where are you?
Right now, I am in the conference room at KOMU TV, the NBC affiliate, in market 135, as I'm doing some things out here to work as well. Can I just tell you, I have producer empathy because, as everyone knows and was outed on the Packers, what was it? Packers, when they did that, they did a series of stories on different people who are season ticket holders. And that's where I was outed that my favorite player was Walter Payton as a kid. So, and if you guys didn't know that, you can go ahead and hang up on me now or cut the feed. But I think that's fairly well documented that was my favorite guy. And boy, I got mistreated a lot for that. So, by the way, he's no longer with us, both as a player and sadly as a human. So now I have no sympathy for that side. So in that case, geez, I hope the rest of your season goes just as well as today did.
Yep. That's fair. And I imagine Brian Bulaga, the Illinois native, probably not feeling much differently.
Yeah, I don't feel bad at all. Thanks, guys. There's not any part of me that feels slightly bad. And then it goes back to, your first round pick this year. You guys think you're being cute. You draft the tight end from Michigan, and then Warren in Indy is the best tight end, clear as day, and he's playing phenomenally with Indy. So, again, you guys think you're smarter than everybody. I mean, but it's the same. But it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again in Chicago. So, you hire Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, very smart guy, right? Very intelligent head coach. I don't think anyone debates that. But he thinks he's going to outsmart football, and he goes and drafts the guy from Michigan, thinking he's going to get a Kelsey when, in all reality, he needs a Laporta. And the Laporta is the Warren guy. Whatever. But again, no, I don't feel bad for Bears fans. Don't feel bad for him at all. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But again, I hear the same old story.
That's true.
Grown up there, it's the same thing over and over again. Every 2 years, like the cycle repeats itself. So,
and here we are again.
Here we go.
Yep. With a loss to Snoop Huntley and the Ravens, who dropped 30 on the Bears.
Can I add just real quick?
Yeah.
How good Mitch Trubisky is in those backup commercial TVs, though. He's very good on those commercial spots about being a backup quarterback. So for a guy that was drafted that high and you traded a bunch of people away, he does very good in those commercials.
Better actor than quarterback, I think, would probably be the takeaway from the review of the critics of that commercial. The Vikings lose Thursday Night Football 37-10. So the Packers, the only hope for a win in the NFC North this weekend with the Lions on bye. It's Packers Steelers a 7:20 kickoff on NBC tonight as the team goes toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers for the first time in his illustrious career. Brian, I know you've talked a lot about it this week. I know you've thought about it this week. How are you feeling watching your former quarterback take on your former team tonight on Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fun to watch the dynamic of it. I mean, obviously, once they get out there and start playing it, it's going to be what it's going to be, right? I think it'll be probably for him, the whole pageantry of it early on, probably a little, he won't show it. Because he is who he is, right? He's he's stoic and how he goes about his business, Aaron, that is. But it'll be a little emotional for him. He's been pretty clear throughout the week how much the organization, the city, the fans mean to him. And I don't think that's any debate. I don't think that's a lie by any stretch. I mean, he loves the Packers. He loves the city, the state, the fan base. So there's no doubt about that. But let's also not make any mistake about it. He wants to win the game, right? I mean, let's just call it what it is. Like, he wants to win, and he's going to do everything he possibly can to beat the Packers tonight, right? I mean, let's just call it what it is. There'd be nothing sweeter for him than to beat them. And I don't think it's revenge. I don't think it's that. Revenge, I think, is maybe if you would go back 2 years, maybe you could call it revenge. I don't think revenge is a good word. But I just think it's a little bit of, maybe I still have it. I can still play. And I think the way he's playing this year still shows he could still play. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. I didn't really expect the Steelers offense to look the way it does. And it's pretty good. And they're putting up points. They're throwing. They're moving the ball up and down the field. Like, I'm actually very surprised because I thought the offensive line for the Steelers was going to be a major issue, and it did look shaky early on. But you see how he's adapted his game, which has actually caught me off guard, right? Because as a guy who had a block for him for like 4 seconds, and like I was very used to that. Like, I mean, and it's not taking a shot at him. Like, I mean, it was something that we were just used to doing. Like, he was very good at extending plays, and if you gave him time to extend plays, he did a lot of damage to defenses. So it was just something we became accustomed to. But to see him change his game to throw the ball in rhythm on time and early to protect the Steelers' offensive line, he's very dangerous with it. And then you put the receivers and the tight ends that they have in Pittsburgh in that type of scheme, and the running back Warren, they're very good. They're very good with what they're doing right now, and they move the ball methodically, right? Like, and with Aaron's smarts, he's able to see defenses and kind of pick them apart and see pressure looks and diagnose secondaries and get them in good looks. So, like, that's why, like, I'm very surprised with how this Steeler offense has kind of evolved since I watched them against the Jets, where, yeah, they put up points, but it didn't look really good to start, and kind of where they've, come to this point. Now, I think, obviously, I think Green Bay's defense, I think they've already played Cleveland, and they took care of Cleveland, I think, pretty handily, right? If I'm not mistaken, the Steelers.
Yep, a couple weeks ago, 23-9.
Yeah. Besides Cleveland, this is the best defense they're going to see, right? I think Green Bay's defense is the best defense they'll have seen. But Green Bay's defense, as we've also seen, has been struggling at times a little bit in in the second half of games and giving up, in the air a little bit. So, like, it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic and how our defense does. And if our pass rush is able to get to him in short, in a short amount of time. So, I mean, like 2 seconds, because he's averaging about 2.5 seconds to throw right now, which is incredible. It's like Brady stuff. That's the stuff Brady did towards the end of his career. He was throwing this thing on time and in rhythm, and it was amazing. Like, it was really wild to see. If our defense is able to do that and rattle him early, it'll be really good for our defense. So, like, that'll be what I'm really interested to see early on, and how Aaron kind of plays that chess match against Halfley early on.
It's going to be a fun one watching Aaron Rodgers try to diagnose this Halfley defense. John, curious from your perspective. It's not quite to the level of what Favre was back in 2009 when he was a member of the Vikings and he came to Lambeau Field and everybody was booing him. Because I think, frankly, if this game was at Lambeau, Rodgers would likely get applauded rather than booed like Favre was in 2009. But it is still a little funky seeing a guy who you're so used to seeing wear green and gold on the other side of things.
Yeah, I have a lot of things. If you're going to dig up the Brett Favre, the whole reception there, like, it's all crazy. Because Aaron, one, right, he's not in a Vikings uniform. That helps.
Yeah, it sure does.
B, he is not in Lambeau, and he's in the safe confines, whatever they call the stadium now there in Pittsburgh, down on the confluence. But I've never gotten the feeling, as much as people liked Aaron Rodgers and all he did, there were a lot of people that, for whatever reason, are through with him. And I don't understand that reasoning. But there are a lot of folks that just think, well, in the end, they go, but he's just playing weird and he never was one of us. Where, right, they're willing to forgive Brett everything because he'll stand in a tree stand, right? And he'll go in a duck line. And they are just attached to Favre in a way that they were never attached to Aaron. Wins, loses, draws, whatever. And so I'm curious. I think he would get a reception that would be almost not apathetic, but it would be way different. By the way, when Favre went on, I had no idea what to think. As soon as they booed him, I went, boy, that's the wrong thing to do to that guy, right? Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. And as soon as I heard the boos, I'm like, nope, that's not what I was thinking would be right. It didn't seem right. But I'm with Brian. There's no doubt that this guy wants to go ahead and beat the Packers, regardless of what your relationship is, regardless of how you left. That's first and foremost. There's no way, as a human with any kind of emotion, that you cannot want to go stick it to that team, regardless of what it is. The thing I find is we're on the opposite side of the hill. We have young quarterbacks and we see glimpses and we think that's what they can be. And Aaron, when he goes through and we see these glimpses, it's of what he was. And so we need a lot less of what he was and more of kind of what the 40-some-odd-year quarterback can be. Problem is, I think young quarterbacks, sometimes it finds them and then it goes, kind of like my golf game. Sometimes it finds me, but then I don't know when it's going to leave. But if you're really good, you know how to find it. And Aaron can do that, right? Like, when you're one of those guys that got 20 years in the league, you can win without your best, or you can figure out, like, you know what, I can't hit my driver today, but if I hit 3-wood off the tee and play, I can do a lot of damage. And I feel like that's where he's at in his career, is that he just knows how to get his golf ball around the course and make a number, as opposed to bashing it. So I think he's always dangerous. I think he's going to be unbelievably motivated, regardless of how many bouquets he threw during the week and how many he will throw afterwards, and if he has to exchange 53 jerseys. I think that other than some sort of playoff game that would be coming up, this is going to be the best you will see Aaron Rodgers. And unlike a young guy, I think he can channel those emotions positively, and they won't overtake him, right? And he'll start firing balls off 10 yards over guys' heads and those kind of things. So nothing about the Steelers really scares me except for that guy.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that.
That should frighten us.
Look, we know what he's capable of still at 41 years old. He's got four touchdown pass games here this season. He's still, we saw last week in what I believe the kids were dubbing the Unk Bowl between him and Joe Flacco on Thursday Night Football. He throws a ball 70 yards in the air at 41 years old. Now, it fell incomplete, which if he was still a Packer, I don't know if it falls incomplete because he was pretty good at those. But, I mean, come on. Like, Brian, I imagine you're looking at him. You've been retired a few years, and you go, wow, How does he still do that?
Yeah, the fact that he can still do that is wild, man. Like, I mean, seriously, like, and people like question, can he still throw it? Like, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. The guy literally, I mean, and it's, he still can do it. I mean, obviously you look at what made him dangerous was his arm talent,
right,
and how smart he was and how he could do things. But like, the other part of it was how he could get outside the pocket and do it from every arm angle and throw it halfway across the field on a dime. And it would, and that's how he was so good at it, and how elusive he was. Like, people didn't think he was elusive, but he was very elusive. Now that's the part of his game that has kind of obviously gone away as he's 41 years old, right? I mean, obviously no one's going to be the same they were when they were, 28, 26 years old. That's what Green Bay has to try to capitalize on, right? Like, don't, try to make sure he feels uncomfortable in the pocket, right? Like, try to make him uncomfortable in that, because he, there'll be times where you've seen him this year, he does step out, and he has moved out of the pocket and thrown strikes and thrown touchdowns out of the pocket. He's done that. But for the most part, he wants to stay in there and deliver strikes, and he delivers it on time. So, like, if you need to make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket, and you got to get to him first. That's the thing. Like, he's been very good at it. So he doesn't look to move a bunch, because obviously that's not the strength anymore, is moving around and doing that and beating pressure. He knows that's not the strength anymore. He beats pressure with his arm and his brain. Like, that's what he does. And then if you think you're going to be able to, like, force him out of the pocket with, like, overload pressures, and think you can force him out and do, like, he's gonna drop a hot to it and just beat you to the pressure side. Like, so, like, they have to come up with a different way to try and get to him. And I think Hafley knows that. And Matt sure as hell knows that. Like, Matt should be the one that knows that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he should be the one that's telling Hafley, like, if you just think you're going to do it, like, you can't do that. And the one thing too is, our defense better be ready for Metcalf, like, whoever's playing the slot, whoever's playing out wide, because that's the matchup that if you got to play press on him, if he's coming across the middle, it doesn't really matter who's guarding him. He's going to body you, box you out, and then you have to tackle him as he's sprinting across the middle, right? And Aaron looks for him and Freiermuth always, and Washington. 2-3 giants are his main targets, right? So, like, those are the guys that he's looking for. If you do bring pressure on him, he's able to find those guys and see them really well. And then obviously when you bring pressure, you're very vulnerable behind that pressure. And then you're in one-on-one situations. And if you're in one-on-one situations against DK Metcalf and guys like that, you better have the right tacklers to bring them down. And that's the only thing that, like, you have to be very careful with that. And Green Bay hasn't brought a bunch of pressure this year, because obviously with the way guys have been getting home with Micah and things like that, they haven't had to do it. Which, if you look at the way Pittsburgh plays, you shouldn't want to gamble that much with the way they're getting it out so quick. You don't want to bring pressure when he's getting it out so fast. You're never going to get there. What's the point of that? But if you do, you just better make sure that, like, Metcalf and, like, Freiermuth are not just running over the middle and putting their hand up in the air, because Aaron's going to find them. Yeah. And it's just not the right guys to do that to. I mean, honestly, like, I just wouldn't do that.
It's going to be interesting to see how they approach this Steelers offense, led by Aaron Rodgers. We'll continue to talk Rodgers throughout the program this afternoon with you, leading up to kickoff at 7:20. Do want to get into Christian Watson, though, coming up next, as he will make his season debut for the Packers tonight in Pittsburgh. Hey, Brats, Coolers, friends, you've got it all but rolling into the tailgate with a clean car. That is the real MVP move. Keep it spotless with the Tsunami Express Car Wash membership, 13 locations and growing. It's easy to swing through on your way to the action. Tsunami Express, wash, chill, repeat. We talk Christian Watson coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
What does the skeleton say before dinner? A bon appetit. And why did the ghost go to the bar? For the booze. Yeah, Halloween jokes can be corny. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've provided the most spooktacular selection and savings in town. From skull-shaped vodka bottles and pumpkin cream liqueurs to adult trick-or-treat bags and your favorite seasonal wines and beers. We've got the spirits to get you in the spirit. Combine our selection with everyday low prices and 2 convenient locations, and Discount Liquor is the one trick-or-treat stop you can't skip. Discount Liquor, locally owned and family operated with 2 locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine. See all of our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Homer here. Whether you're cheering from the stands or watching the game from your backyard, every fan knows great moments deserve great vibes. Swing into Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan. Just across the Wisconsin border, they offer a full line of high-quality, clean-green, certified CBD products designed to help you relax, recover, and recharge no matter the season. Higher Love is organically grown, locally owned, and proudly one of the best in the Midwest. Visit them in Menominee or explore the full CBD lineup at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Hi, it's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch, inviting you to join me July 5th on a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette. Take in the charm of the countryside and the history of the great cities. Imagine standing before Big Ben in London, then later gazing out from Edinburgh Castle. So rich in history, it feels like you're stepping back in time. Along the way, we'll explore the storybook villages of Chester and Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon, places where every street seems to whisper a piece of history. And how about a scenic train ride through the rolling green hills that lead us right into the medieval city of York? It's all part of this incredible journey. From iconic landmarks to cozy villages, from bustling city streets to peaceful countryside views, you'll experience the very best of Britain's history, culture, and beauty, and create memories that last a lifetime. Text TRAVEL to 800-990-3776 for full details. To learn more about this amazing adventure, come to the meet and greet on Tuesday, November 4th at 6 p.m. at Buck and Honey's Monona. If you can't make it, visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com to learn how you can join virtually.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
I have been jersey swapping. I jersey swapped with Lucas Patrick last week. Lucas was a great player for us for a long time, one of my favorites. You guys know what kind of guy he was, just as tough as they come. You know, there's a lot of guys over there that I, still have a lot of love for and played with.
That Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers quarterback, talking about a potential jersey swap tonight after he plays his former team. He went on to say in that Zoom session, the number one guy on the top of his list he'd like to do a jersey swap with is Jay Love, the guy he mentored, of course, at the end of his tenure in Green Bay. Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, John Anderson, Super Bowl champion Brian Bulaga with you. We will continue to talk all about Aaron Rodgers in his first matchup ever against the Packers throughout the program this afternoon. But do briefly, before we get to Rob Demovsky in Pittsburgh in a bit, want to talk about the big debut tonight, season debut for wide receiver Christian Watson. Was signed to a 1-year extension earlier this season, although he still hasn't been on the field since tearing his ACL at the end of the regular season last year. Brian, Watson adds a lot of different things to this Packers offense, including that vertical speed. He can take the top off of defense. How excited are you to see Watson back in action for Green Bay?
I'm excited to see how well, first of all, I'm excited that he's healthy, right? That means that he's healthy, and I think that's the most important thing. So I'm excited that he's feeling good and his knee's right. I'm also excited to see how they utilize him. Right, I think that's the biggest thing. It's his first game, so obviously he's going to be on a pitch count. There's no doubt, and I think my biggest concern is the turf. I don't even know how to. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of this field because it's like
Stadium.
Yeah, it's like it used to be. It's Heinz Field.
Agreed.
That's just what it is. It's Heinz Field. And I think Jason will confirm it or Rob will confirm it because he's there when we have him on. From what Jason said earlier in the week to myself and Homer, they just redid the turf.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh played on it yesterday.
Correct.
So, I don't know how good the quality of the turf's going to actually be. Because I know sod doesn't take that quickly, and then Pitt played on it. And I'm just, with a guy coming on, and obviously his knee's okay, right? It's healed. He feels good on it. It's strong. But for his first time back on a field, you're conscious about these things as not just a player, but as a coaching staff, as a medical staff. Like you think about these things for a guy on his first time back. So I'm sure he's going to be on a little bit of a pitch count. And, I'm just excited to see how they use him. How do they utilize him? With him and Golden on the field at the same time, it's going to make safeties that they go against very nervous, very, very nervous because you run these two guys down the seam or out wide, and it puts secondaries in a lot of conflict. It just does that. One's obviously Watson's a bigger target, right? He's a big target, but carries a bunch of speed. And obviously Golden is just a freak athlete, tons of top end speed. And obviously we've seen what he's able to do so far this year. So you got two really great athletes that carry a bunch of big play threat. And how do defenses handle that? Like, what do you do with your safeties? How are you rotating them? What type of coverages do you do when those guys are on the field? Because if you're playing really deep shell coverages against that, the run game is wide open. It is wide open. Your safeties are so deep. There's absolutely no way, that they can come up and run support. So that means the run game is there. It is there for the taking. So I'll be very interested to see how he's utilized, but most importantly, I'm glad he's healthy and he feels like he's ready to go.
John, I imagine Matt LaFleur's drooling at the idea that Brian just talked about. Little Matthew Golden and Christian Watson on the field together. That is something that excites me.
I don't want Matt LaFleur to be drooling into his playbook too bad. I think sometimes he's too smart for his own good, and I don't want to give him more options, right? Sometimes I want him to be, hey, you know what? We could just turn around and hand it to 8 in some of these cool spots. Or you know what? Maybe we can just throw a little 4-yard out and get the first down. We don't have to flip it to 3 other guys to get it there. So sometimes I don't want Matt to have more options. I would like Matt to have limited options when it comes through. That's the problem with these guys that are kind of mad scientists and tinkerers and that kind of thing. I don't want to see Christian Watson out there. I've seen too many track guys, seen too many athletes with the ACL come back too soon. I don't see the need for him right now. I think they're okay at the position. I would try to, instead of trying to work him back sooner, I would see how much I could do without him as long as I could. I think that's prudent. And even if it seems good and it feels great and all that stuff, it's still not, from what we know, outside of maybe Adrian Peterson. I can't think of another guy that came back early wasn't diminished or didn't put himself at risk of further damage. Even though they said it's great, it's ahead of schedule, I'm doing that stuff, So I admire all that. I just think that, every month you could give him, every week you could give him is another week or a month you might have him down the line. If he makes it through unscathed, good for him. The stadium is kind of the field is a bit of an issue with the way the turf goes. It's funny how the NFL has gotten so much into the manicured of their grass when they used to let guys play on the infield of the baseball diamond on the other end. And now we got to make sure it's all, we bring the grounds crew from Augusta National to make sure everything's good and repaired. But I do think that might be a legit deal, because the slipping is where the problem is, right? It's just if you plant, it doesn't go. That's where all the bad things happen. And I really like Brian's point that you can lay it down, but that doesn't mean it's taken root. And you get a little divot in there, and now the whole thing slides, and that's where you get into trouble. So field conditions a bit of a concern. I think the decision to play him is even more of a concern. When he's out there, you can make all the cases you guys made for why they're a better team with him than offensively than without him. I won't argue those. I would argue whether I want him out there right now, because I think they have enough, and I think they will be fine. And I would rather be safe with that guy who's had other issues, right? This isn't the first. This is the first one that was really catastrophic. But he's another guy that did what's crazy, right? Because he hurt his hamstring just falling down, just trying to slide, hurt his hamstring. So he's got some soft tissue things that's happened a couple of times, and I don't need I don't want to put that in harm's way, and I think that's what they're doing. So maybe I'm just an protective helicopter mom here, but I don't know that I want my boy out there just yet.
That's exactly what I was going to accuse you of. Though I think it's an interesting perspective. Obviously, to your point, there is a history of injuries with Watson, but to tell you how much they love him, they signed him to a 1-year extension before he even returned from this ACL. One other thing from Watson this week that I thought was really good from him is he was asked about the field. Obviously, Pittsburgh is long renowned, is not one of the best fields in the National Football League. I know Brian and Johnny will both remember that's where Jordy Nelson tore his ACL in the preseason a decade ago. But he said if he has to worry about what surface he's playing on, then clearly he's not ready. So he's not worried about where or how the type of field is that he's playing on. Because let's keep in mind where he tore his ACL was at Lambeau Fields. You can't really avoid that one when you're playing for the green and gold. So I did like that from him earlier this week. Just saying, hey, if I'm thinking about where I'm playing or what I'm playing on, I probably shouldn't be playing.
Well, and it's nice, right? His dad hasn't popped up. Dad has not apparently decided that it's a bad deal. So we haven't heard from him.
That's true. Well, we probably have. We may have just missed it. I don't know. I haven't looked at his Twitter this week.
In addition to his speed, and when we get Wilde on here, Jason will talk, I think he's great when he talks about this. He loves Watson for the teammate that guy is. He doesn't ever seem to complain when he doesn't get the ball. He's willing to kind of catch over the middle if he has to. I've never heard him yell that he didn't get enough targets. So apparently as a guy in the room, he's really valuable. And so maybe add that to the squad when he's out there. And that helps the group in a way that's not just yards per attempt or yak yards or any of those things. So there's a lot of great reasons to have him out there for sure. I just think that, if you get hurt, that's going to be one really bad reason that he shouldn't have been out there.
I mean, I understand that he's, saying that if I'm worried about the surface, then my knee's not ready. Like, I get that. Like, and obviously I did 2 of them. So like, I understand what he's saying. But at the end of the day, right, you may not be worried about it. And as a player, you can't be worried about it. But the medical staff and the coaching staff, they and the GM, they have to be worried about it, right? Like they have to be the people that are thinking about those things and have to evaluate that surface when they get there. They have to get there and look at that and go, okay, how is this playing when the guys get out there and they start warming up? Is it chunking up? How is it? Because they do have to look out for the player. They do, regardless of the way, Christian Watson's feeling and how good his knee is, regardless of that, right? Like, you got to look out for the player. It's his first time back off his ACL, right? And it's not like linemen where we go out there off our ACL and, hey, you're going out there for the full thing, man. Just deal with it and get ready to go. Like, these are the wideouts. They're cutting. They're doing a bunch of different things. Like, it's a different deal. And if the surface is shaky, you sometimes you got to protect them from themselves a little bit on it, right? And don't put them in uncomfortable positions, right, that they may not even be thinking about, which they shouldn't, right? They're going out there and playing as they should, right? And so I agree with them on that. But, I mean, that's stuff that these guys got to think about besides him, the coaches and the medical and things like that. So I'm glad he doesn't think about it and he's not going to be the one telling them, hey, coach, surface looks bad. I don't think I should go this week. Like, he's not going to be the one doing that, like, obviously. But believe me, there'll be people that are communicating that as they get to Heinz Field and they go out there and they look at the grass and the condition of it, and guys get out there and start warming up and testing it. There'll be a rep count that they want to hit with him, because there's no way he goes out there and takes 50% of the snaps. Totally. There's just no way. That would be not, because who knows his actual football shape right now. Like, that's the thing you have to also question, is his football shape. Because he could be doing all the running, all those things that he wants, right? Like, and he's probably been doing that, which is great. But we all know there's a difference between being in the best shape of your life and then being in football shape. They're two different things, right? And then once you start getting hit by people, that adds another element to the whole thing, right? And receivers get hit a lot, and they get hit in very awkward positions, so to speak. So, but regardless, I'm happy that he's back, and obviously I want to see him progress in a good way as he comes back from this.
I'm down with the football shape thing, but if he is healthy, why do we have to have him on a pitch count? If you're good, you can go play. Well, because it is a technical with an ACL. I mean, it was the same way technically because there is no ramp up period, because he didn't have the training camp to do a ramp up period in general, right? Like, even with myself through training camp, when I was coming back from my ACL, I had a ramp up period. Like, all right, you're going to take X amount of reps this day, and then the next day and it kind of progressed throughout training camp as I got the pads put on. So, like, he didn't have that. Like, he didn't, and then obviously, like, practice right now, I mean, it's not, they're not doing like anything. Like, it's like, they don't even like touch each other. Limited wear and tear.
Yeah. So like, you know, like, I mean, he's going out there right now, and it's about as live is, right? Like, I mean, you're going out there and it is full speed, and he's going to be taking, you know, the full brunt of this thing. So, like, if you go out there and let him take unlimited, hey, he's full go unlimited. I mean, yeah, he'll be okay, but like, you don't know how his body's going to react then come the following week. Like, and it's just, you want to make sure that the knee itself, right, and the soreness of it, and you don't know as he gets going, and you want to make sure swelling and you're controlling that. You just got to see how things react as the workload increases of real football. Yeah. Like, that's the only thing that you look for in these certain situations. And like, honestly, he's a big receiver. Guys don't tackle him high.
No, he's a big boy, no doubt.
Yeah, he's a big receiver. They're not trying to tackle him around the numbers, right? Like, let's just be real. Like, they're going one place on him. Like, they're going around the thighs and the knees, because he's a big receiver. He's strong. So, like, he's, you know, there's certain things like that you don't really think about while you're at practice, right, out there in your helmets and shorts, that once you get out there against the Steelers, they're definitely going to do. So, like, those are the other things that, like, you just those are real life things that you just, you know.
We will see how much we see of Christian Watson tonight, but it sounds like he is trending towards a go and making his season debut tonight in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Green Bay Game Day brought to you in part by our friends at Coop's Mustard. It is not Wisconsin football with that brats on the grill and Coop's mustard on top. I used some honey Dijon Coop's mustard earlier today when I made some ham and cheese sliders, man. Coop's is the best. Part of my game day tradition, from the classic yellow to the spicy brand to the honey Dijon to the Arizona heat. They bring the flavor. The best. Coop's mustard, spreading the love since 1897. We head to Pittsburgh coming up next as we chat with our buddy Rob Demovsky on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
From the baseball playoffs to regular season football, Prize Picks is the best way to win cash watching our favorite teams. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Well, make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks now offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use that code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. You may have heard Congress pass the One Big Beautiful Bill which President Trump campaigned on, leaving the non-tax parts out. What does the law mean for business? To be honest, less than you think. There are larger deductions for purchasing equipment and other fixed assets in the year of purchase. The Qualified Business Deduction, or QBID, is now a permanent deduction for partnerships and S corporations. Remember the 1099-K back and forth? The minimum amount for issuing 1099-Ks, which are typically from credit card companies or e-commerce sites like Amazon or Shopify, will now be $20,000. Call us now for a free consultation to see how you may be affected by the new law. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strofe, John Anderson, Super Bowl champion Brian Balaga with you this afternoon as we lead you to kickoff between the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. And right now we head out to the Steel City as our buddy from ESPN, Rob Demovsky, joins us on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Good afternoon, Rob. How are you?
I'm good, Strophy. How are you?
Life is good, my friend. Life is good. And I imagine life is good for our old friend, Aaron Rodgers. I see he's chatting with Packers personalities galore, throwing in the football 3 hours before kickoff. Obviously, this week's been all about A-Rod, but the day is finally here. You've seen him out there. Bring us inside, I believe, what is now called Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was the name of the stadium because I put Heinz Field into my GPS when I left the hotel this afternoon.
Thank you. Yep.
And it took me to some high school field. Obviously, thankfully, I didn't follow that. But no, I tried to get here. I thought I'm going to get here really early, and I'm going to get here before Rodgers gets here, and maybe get a little video footage of him walking in. And I got here at like 4 o'clock, which is almost 4.5 hours before the game, and he was already here. And then was on the field shortly after that, and he's actually right now, or at least a few minutes ago, was actually kind of throwing nothing like real hard, but was tossing the ball around. And Brian, you'd know this better than me, but I don't remember him ever coming out like this early to throw, or really for anything. But one Steelers person told me that he wanted to come in early and come out early just to get all that stuff out of the way, the hellos, the greetings, the catch-ups, and so that makes sense, I think, if you think about it. Just get all that stuff out of the way, and then once you go back in the locker room and you come out for real, you're ready to play.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. Like I said, he'll get the pleasantries out of the way and get going. Hey, Rob, we were talking about this earlier because obviously the reports of Christian Watson are like that he's going to play today, right? I mean that's all the reports. First of all, what do you know about rep count? What have you heard about that? And the second part of that is, what does that surface look like to you?
Yeah,
what does it look like?
Yeah, if you go on to Twitter, my very last tweet right before we came on the air, I did a close-up of the field, and it's not good. Now, I did talk to some Packers people down in the tunnel beforehand, and they told me two things. One, the seams are fine. Like wherever there are seams, there are no issues. And if the seams were an issue, I was told, then Christian Watson would not play. But that is not an issue, and so that means he's going to play. But there's a lot of divots, a lot of chunks. There was a game Pitt played at, I think, NC State here last night. And, I mean, like, they tried to fill in some stuff, but they also just spray painted over some of the stuff where it looks like it might be grass. And it's not.
Wow.
So, there was the worst I think I've ever seen. Well, two come to mind. Chicago more than once, but Chicago was always bad. But there was a game, I think it was a Monday night game at Carolina in the mid-2000s, that it was like the worst field I've ever seen. Just anytime a player dug their cleats in and pushed off, just chunks and chunks of grass were coming up in that game. And it's just, I hope, for first of all, hope for the safety of everyone that there's no issues with that. But I hope that it doesn't impact like significant plays and that could impact the outcome of the game, right? Like, I mean, the last thing you want is the field conditions, deciding something or impacting something that could decide the game. But I would say from my vantage point, it's not great.
Don't forget about that Hall of Fame game. What year was that, 15?
Well, that wasn't a game. So you throw that one out, Alex, because they didn't even play. So
right.
Let's just get rid of that. That impacted the game in a completely different way. It wasn't played.
Yeah. Prior to the pandemic, I believe that was the last canceled game in the NFL, despite it being a preseason game. But neither here nor there. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, yeah. So what, in your opinion, what do you think the snap count for Christian Watson will be? What do you think he's going to be?
Yeah, I would guess 20 to 25, but it also all depends on what kind of game it is, right? If it's a low possession game and a low play count game or something, or high play count, I mean, I think that could influence it. I don't think he's going to be playing 55 snaps if it's a 75 snap game, but I do think they'll get him 20, 25 snaps and hopefully get him a few targets and. Obviously, Dontavion Wicks is not going to go. Of course, Jaden Reed's been out for quite a while. The one thing I thought was really interesting, and not that we didn't already know this, But one of the things that Matt LaFleur said this week was just he went through all the different ways they use Christian Watson. You know, he's not just a guy you line up out on the edge. He's not just a slot guy. He plays all the positions. He knows all the positions. He's a smart, intelligent player where you can use him in so many different ways within the offense and different personnel groupings and things like that. So I do think that versatility might allow him to play, you know, a little bit more than maybe just a handful of snaps like maybe somebody might ordinarily.
So, Rob, first off, you're a pretty good stick. Are you are the divots? Are these 9-iron divots, or are you a picker? Do you have just like a little 4-iron, a little nip? What do you got?
This is you're 90 yards away. You got a 60-degree wedge in your hand, and you absolutely lay the sod over it, and the divot goes almost as far as the golf.
We're spinning it back hard.
That is the very definition of laying the sod over one, right, Brian?
Yes, that is laying the sod. That ball went about 20 yards. It went about
and the divot went about 17 yards.
Yes, exactly.
Then I got to know: Are you any chance you rolled out today in a Jesus Bob T-shirt?
You know, if I had one, I would, but I wish. I think somebody did make one or a few of those when Aaron said that to me. That was when I said something to the effect of, "I can't wait to see the Kafusi kid in Buffalo," because he was raving about this guy, and the last guy he raved about, Jay Kumaro, ended up getting traded to Buffalo, and he just looked at me and he said, "Jesus, Bob." So.
But so we make all this stuff about Aaron against the Packers, but like, what's LaFleur said about having to coach against that guy? Because he knows him, and he knows that's a tall order. What's it come from the locker room at 1265 about going against their old fella?
The most interesting thing I thought was that, you know, and LaFleur might have been half joking, but maybe only half. He said, you know, the old man can still move, and you know, the games that I've seen, he moves okay. You know, I don't think he moves great, but he does still move. This isn't. You know, I don't think this is Bernie Kosar back there like a statue and couldn't move, but like, I mean, in the arm strength, right? Like, I mean, that Hail Mary at the end of the Cincinnati game, I mean, it was like, I think the next gen stats had it at 69 yards in the air. And I tweeted this after the game, and Aaron had a little smirk on his face afterwards. And I said, was it just me? Or even though they lost, did he have just this slightly satisfied look on his face where he could still throw at 69 yards? And like, to me, that's what they're conscious of, you know, in all seriousness, you know, the coaches and you know, the defensive guys trying to figure out what he's doing and what he's doing well. He's getting it out really fast too. Like, I mean, obviously the Packers pass rush, you know, has been good at times, but against guys who get it out quick, you know, it's been harder, which obviously makes sense. So they got to figure out a way to try to get Aaron off the spot. And even if he's getting the ball out quickly, and make him get it out quickly, but to somebody who's maybe not open yet. And I think that's where they're looking at from an X's and O's standpoint this week.
Our buddy Rob Demovsky of ESPN with us here on Green Bay Game Day. Alex Struff, John Anderson, Brian Bulaga hanging out with you until kickoff between the Packers and the Steelers. Rob, I've said it a few times this week. I'm having a hard time making out exactly what the Packers are. I know some things. I don't know everything about this team through the first 6 games of the regular season. What are you most looking forward to getting maybe some clarity on as they go toe-to-toe with the Steelers this evening?
Yeah, I mean, I think just whether they can continue to run the ball like they have in spurts, right? Because I think you got to be able to be a complete offense, you got to run the ball, and they have the last couple games a little bit better. I know the numbers are good defensively at times, other than you throw the Dallas game out, but I just think to be a really good defense, you have to force turnovers. And I just think they have to do that, you know, more consistently. Now, am I the same guy that when they had 31 takeaways last year said, boy, they're relying on the takeaway and that's going to burn them if they don't get any? So I guess you could say that, but like, you just need a nice mix, right? You need a nice mix of being able to get off the field on third down. You need to be able to rush the passer. You need to be able to stop the run and get some takeaways. I guess I'm asking for a lot, but to me, that's what the great teams do. So is this a really good team? Yeah, I think it is. Is it a great team? I don't think we've seen enough to say that yet. So I guess I'd like to see, and it's probably cliche coach speak, but I guess I'd like to see, them play a little bit more of a complete game. And you're never going to play a perfect game, never going to play 100% error-free, but do they do the things that championship football teams do? Do they score when they have to score? Do they get stops when they have to get stops? Do they not, make big blunders and blown assignments in coverage or special teams? Those are the things that the great football teams can say about themselves. So let's see if this team can do that, for a stretch of games, not just a little bit here and a little bit there.
I just want to correct one thing. You said this might be a little coach speak. It's direct coach speak, because we've heard the floor say that how many times this year he wants to see a complete game of complimentary football.
I guess he got to me. I guess he's in my subconscious.
I digress.
So, Rob, who's kicking tonight?
That's a great question. I hadn't even thought of that. All the Rodgers stuff and the Christian Watson stuff. I'll go back, Brian, to what I had, had told you guys on the radio last week before the Arizona game, was that Brandon McManus was not kicking that week, and that there was a chance they might hold him out another week. Obviously, the roster move they made yesterday with releasing tight end Ben Sims to bring Watson up, they didn't release the other kicker. Is it possible that they go into the game with both kickers active? I doubt it. I mean, even LaFleur said that's probably not something you want to do. But if McManus isn't, you sure he can't get through the game, but you just don't want to put yourself in a position where you don't have a kicker. So I doubt both kickers will be up. But I'm gonna I think it's 50-50 at this point. I'm sure they know. I just don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, so that's why I don't. Okay, well.
They're both still on the roster, which is abnormal for 3 weeks in a row, but here we are nonetheless. Rob, we're running late, so we'll get you out of here with this. It's Rodgers versus the Packers. What are you expecting? How do you think this one plays out tonight?
The Cincinnati game, right? Pittsburgh's coming off that tough one. They've had a little bit longer with a Thursday game. I think they're going to come out, wanting to get that taste out of their mouth, but I still think the Packers are the better team and will find a way. I don't know exactly how, but I think they find a way.
I hope so. I'm just feeling a little bit of the EBGBs going up against the old man.
I hear you. Yeah, no, I get it.
It's going to be a fun one. But, Rob, we appreciate the time as always. We'll be listening to you all week right here on ESPN Wisconsin, reading you over at ESPN.com.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll be seeing you.
The great Rob Demovsky out in Pittsburgh. Go ahead, John. What do you got?
No, I was going to say, and this falls directly to Brian, who's had to block guys like this and protect the other guy. I feel like I'm always more worried about T.J. Watt than I am about Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Like that guy can wreck a game in a hurry.
Well, let's get to Brian on that on the other side before we get to Jason Wilde in the 5 o'clock hour. But quick, got to tell you about the new Piggly Wiggly Pigs Points program. Easy for me to say. Say that 5 times fast. Piggly Wiggly Pig Points program. It is here. Now you'll earn 10 pig points for every $1 you spend and redeem those points on your favorite products right in store. It's simple. It's rewarding. And it's all right there at your neighborhood Piggly Wiggly. Sign up today at shopthepig.com. Piggly Wiggly. Shop the pig and save. Brian Bulaga on TJ Watt next.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Homer for Window Nation. It's October, and if you've got old windows, that means you're back to dealing with chilly air seeping into your home. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with Window Nation in Milwaukee. This month, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. With the holidays coming up, it's a big deal, and they can do it so quickly. Don't miss out on free windows and 0 payments for 2 years with Window Nation, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit windownation.com before October 31st to get started.
Crispy chicken just keeps getting better at Cousin Subs. Try our crispy chicken basket, complete with 3 white meat tenders and a regular fry, a meal made easy. And for the little ones, our kids meal comes with 2 crispy tenders, applesauce, a juice box, and cookie. Just the right size for growing appetites. Made with quality chicken and ready to enjoy in-store, online, or on the app. But hurry, these crispy favorites are only around for a limited time. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
In the Midwest, we know the real deal on the field and in your wellness routine. Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan offers top-tier Michigan-grown CBD products, no shortcuts, no synthetic knockoffs, just clean, green certified, organically grown CBD crafted for fans who expect the best. Whether you're gearing up for the game or winding down after a win, swing through Higher Love just across the Wisconsin border and experience the highest quality CBD in the Midwest. Higher Love, the real deal, no limitations. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Stroff, Brian Bulaga, the professor, John Anderson, hanging out with you this afternoon as we get you ready for Packers Steelers coming up at 7:20 Central on NBC. It is Sunday Night Football as the Packers take on the guy, their guy, 2005 first-round draft pick, four-time MVP, and Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking the Steelers tonight. But John asked Brian this on the other side. I want to get to his response here because you're also facing a former multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year and a guy who, like Micah Parsons, can wreck a game despite maybe not being as good as he once was. He is still a very good player. Brian, how do you defend a guy or block a guy like a TJ Watt, which the Steelers obviously have?
Yeah, he's still very good. I'm certainly not going to go to a spot where it's say like, oh, he's good, but he's not. He's very good. And I haven't looked at his stats on Sunday night, but normally every time I watch him on Sunday night, he has like a good game. Like it's weird. Like every time whenever I watch Steelers on Sunday night, he always plays well. But going against a guy like him on the road, you have to be super detailed with like snap count, timing, hand placement, because like what he does so well is he's very good with his hands and how he swats and rips and does things like that. He's very good with his hands. He was never really a power rusher. That was never really his thing. He's not like JJ. JJ was a lot bigger and things like that. TJ's not really a power guy. He does how TJ works powers with long arms. He's very good at long arming an inside shoulder and outside shoulder and working spins off of that And if you're late off the ball, he's very good at getting tackles to open up their right hip, because he works mostly off the right tackle. They open up their right hip. He'll long arm you on that, inside shoulder and bull rush you back. He just uses your momentum and leverage and your weak points, and he's able to do that. And then he throws you upfield and gets sacks on you, or he's able to get tackles to open up their hips so early, and he spins right back inside super quick, and he's able, and he's sitting right there at the quarterback level and gets sacks, and he's got a great motor too. So he does things really well, and he's a very smart pass rusher. He sets things up so well, and he understands quarterback drops and depths and things like that. So he's a very smart and good and intelligent rusher. Like intelligent rushers, and everyone thinks, oh well, rushers are smart. No, he understands tackles. He gets the way they move, each tackle's different. Not every tackle moves the same. They all don't punch the same. Everyone's different, but he's smart. He studies them, and you can see he does that by the way he attacks every tackle differently. So Zach Tom's got to be very aware of what Zach Tom doesn't do well, because he's going to go after what Zach Tom doesn't do well. So if Zach Tom is laid off the snap count at any given time, or if he's doing something like dropping his right leg, so that'd be his outside hip too early, TJ Watt's going to attack that, and he's going to go after that early. And if Zach Tom feels like TJ is attacking that, he may start to, overset. And once you overset and get out there too early, that's when you get hit with spin moves, because now you're jumping off the rock, and that's when you get hit with spin moves. So as a tackle, you have to be very, very cognizant of what you're doing against high-end pass rushers that are smart. And when you're on the road and you can't hear the guy next to you, and you can't hear the snap count, it makes things a little more complicated. So, and it's going to be loud in there, man. It's just with Aaron.
It sure is.
It's going to be loud in there.
Well, I imagine, again, a good contingency of Packers fans, but it's going to be loud.
Yeah, listen, and sometimes Packers fans, as great as they travel, and they travel fantastically, sometimes there's a little competition of who gets loud in the stadium.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're loud when they shouldn't be loud, and that's when the offense is on the field.
Yeah.
Even when they're on the road games, right? Because it's just, hey, they're excited, right? They're jacked up, right? And the Steelers fans are going, and they're going. It's just the way it goes.
And obviously, everybody's had this one circled on their calendar since the NFL schedule came out. Hey, we got to get to Jason Wilde. We're running way late. I'm sure I won't hear about it on the other side when he joins us. But the Jason Wilde hour will begin about 10 minutes late, coming up after this. But first, Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason, distilled 6 times till it's just right. Tito's, known for great vodka, giving back and doing good. 4 Dogs, distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. Jason Wilde joins us. Coming up after this, Green Bay Game Day.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Shop the pig! The new Piggly Wiggly Pig Points program is here, and earning rewards just got easier. Now you'll earn 10 pig points for every $1 you spend, and redeem those points on your favorite products right in the store. It's simple, it's rewarding, and it's all right here at your neighborhood Piggly Wiggly. So shop more, earn more, and save more, only at Piggly Wiggly. Sign up today at shopthepig.com.
Piggly Wiggly,
shop the pig!
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into non-stop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Love, Jacobs, McKinney, Golden, and now Micah Parsons? This year's gonna be fun. Now's the time to set a game plan for your Green Bay and Wisconsin pigskin parties. This is Marie from Discount Liquor. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Whether you need an ice-cold keg, a bottle of your favorite wine, a unique craft brew, or hard-to-find liquor, we have everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store again.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
Wherever you're tailgating, we'll get you all set up with your favorite beverages. We're open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drugged driving, and let's achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more? No less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
What's the fake? Pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Now broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, Jason Wilde, ESPN legend John Anderson, and former Packer Brian Balaga. Here's Alex Strofe.
Away we go, the Jason Wilde Hour. Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strofe, John Anderson, the Super Bowl champion, Brian Balaga with you. And excited to be joined now, just a couple minutes late, sorry Jason, by Jason Wilde, 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. It's Aaron Rodgers week, Jason. How we doing?
Oh, I didn't know you were late. I didn't realize.
I'm sure you didn't. Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. Well, you know, you always make jokes on this program about how you're my mentor. And I would say, since that's the case, 13 minutes behind an hour or two, page right out of your book.
Yeah, unless you've got Mark Tauscher or Steve the Homer True on your program, you know, I'm not sure that it's quite as hard. But be that as it may, I'm happy to be here. I just would have liked to have finished mowing my lawn. I stopped at 4:55, anticipating a somewhat on-time arrival, and that did not occur. So enough with that. Hopefully,
is
when
it
I'm
still
done,
lawn
there'll be
mowing
just
season?
enough. There'll be just enough daylight left for me to finish. Yeah, I think it's the last one. Hope so, anyway.
Huh.
Is your yard in better shape than the field in Pittsburgh?
Hard to be worse, right? I mean, I can't wait to see tonight because, look, Strofe and I were talking about this earlier in the week. Like, Aaron Rodgers has really, I think, limited his distraction quotient, right? He's not complaining about a rebuild. He's not talking about how, the vaccinations. He's not spending every Tuesday talking on McAfee. The only things that he's really said that are borderline controversial are complaining about the itinerary in Ireland, which he did when they went to London in 2022. Also, he's just a worldwide traveler. He wants to enjoy his time outside the United States, and then ripping the field and calling it borderline unplayable. Guess what? He's got the truth as a defense. So he has not said boo this season, and I think that's a great thing for the Steelers. It's a sign of respect for Mike Tomlin, and they're sitting there at 4-2 with a chance to go 5-2 tonight on the world's crappiest field. Look, we know Soldier Field sucks. We know there are multiple other fields that aren't very good. Is this the only team in the league now that shares its field with another team in the Pitt Panthers? That can't, like, I'm not a Pittsburgh voter, but there's got to be a way to get them like a little baby stadium for Pitt like they have for Minnesota, so they're not using US Bank Stadium at the same time.
Yeah, I don't get how they still are doing that. When I heard Pitt was playing, I guess I didn't even realize that until yesterday, that Pitt plays at Heinz Field / Acrisure Stadium. That shouldn't be allowed, given how bad it already is.
Bad. And the day that it was so bad, Strofe, a couple weeks ago when he complained about it,
yeah.
Pitt played at Florida State. They didn't even play the day before there.
Wow.
So, for me anyway, that is one of these storylines, one of the 3 things to watch, presented by Associated Bank on our social channels, that I'm very curious to see.
The NFL has changed. Because in 1975, when my brother was a high school senior and Southwest didn't have field, they played at Lambeau Field on Friday nights for the home game. They don't do that in the NFL anymore.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. So
the Packers are so particular now that you
can't walk on it at all.
Well, first of all, yes. Let me rewind briefly to that point. You're exactly right. You can't even touch it with your fingers. Like you go, I'm always shooting my Channel 3 TV stuff out in the bowl when the tours go by, and these old codgers that do the tours, like they crack down, man. Like don't even think about touching the grass. Don't walk on it. Don't smell it. So they're all over the people that are on the tour. But to your point, like I would argue that one of the ways that you could do something fun for the community would be not to use Lambeau Field, but wouldn't it be fun if you could play some of your high school games on Ray Nitschke Field? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be fun? But they're not going to put players, their professional football players, in danger of even using a practice field for anything other than the Packers. So how on earth are we playing games on a field that is used by another institution? That game kicked off at 2:30 yesterday, Wisconsin time. So it probably ended 6 o'clock. So they are going to play a second game in basically a 25-hour window. Look at the ex-player nodding over there in the bottom corner, by the way. He's like, this is ridiculous. He's like Jackie Childs, the lawyer on Seinfeld. Preposterous, ridiculous.
Absolutely, it's insane. It's not good. It's not good.
No.
I mean, and the thing is, like, when you already have players coming out and saying the field's terrible, and then like you think you're going to Band-Aid it and resod it within the week, and then play a college game on it, and like, no, it's not good enough. Just not good enough. I mean, it's bad. And then what was Rob saying earlier? They spray painted some of it to make it look better. Like That's good. That's really good. I mean, that's going to be obvious when guys are hitting the turf and their stuff's coming up like bright green. That's going to look really good. Like, it's
Right.
embarrassing.
And Brian, two things, and then we can move off of turf because I'm not Alan Johnson here, the Packers head groundskeeper.
He's
or
great,
Carl
by the way.
Spackler, for that matter. He's awesome.
Great.
He is
Yeah.
such a great guy, and I love talking to him, except when he gets in total like grass nerd mode, and there's it's like transcendental meditation. He can talk to you about grass, the Northern California sensimilla, etc. But two quick things so we can move on. One, the Packers used to have to do that too back in the day. Like there was, I remember like 97, 98, the players called it the beach because there was a strip down the middle that was sand. And so they would paint it, they would do whatever else. They tried to make it work. It didn't. The thing about it is that was in like December and January when the growing season was over. This is early October this was happening in Pittsburgh. So that's one.
Yeah.
Two, and this is on all seriousness, it was long before you were a Packer. But in 2001, when I famously ate like 24 Krispy Kreme donuts at a Carolina Panthers game. Yeah, that's a long story. We don't have time for it today. But they resodded, and Tausch will tell you, you went to push off, and like, you know how sod comes in rolls and it's like a rectangle? The entire rectangle would go flying.
Oh my gosh.
Antoine Edwards tore his ACL that game. Like they were like, Tausch likes to say it's like Pretty Woman, where they're all replacing the divots and they say, beware of the steaming divot. Like, that's how bad it was. So it hopefully won't be that bad tonight, but this is for a league that is what, $15 billion? What are we doing here? Sorry, now I sound like Alan Johnson.
Yeah, you do.
Sod father.
Literally.
What is outside of his ability to throw the football? What have the Packers missed about Aaron Rodgers not being there the last couple of years? What part of him, right? I'm not trying to make Jordan Love that. I'm just saying he's gone. He takes some talents. We know he can throw it. What else might they, what's been hard to replace, you think, from Aaron Rodgers?
My bias with him on this subject is actually a negative one. And that is based on what he did in 2022. Would he be shepherding these young guys and showing the kind of leadership that he showed with Blue when it was just that like in 2010, right? It was Bulaga, it was a couple other young guys, but there were a lot of veterans, right? And so he could lead a couple of young guys. Now they're at a point now where they're more experienced, but one of my harshest critiques of him, which I have said to his face and was prepared to do on Zoom on Thursday, is that the way he handled 2022, if you're going to say, well, I wish things would have turned out better, you got to take some ownership that one of the reasons why it didn't turn out better is because you didn't handle it as well as you could have. Okay. So from that perspective, do I think they would be more detailed because you're saying without the throwing, like without the clutch throws late in the game, all the stuff that comes with purely playing the position, I would say the biggest intangible that they miss is someone who's a little more demanding. And not that you want to be afraid of your quarterback, but I don't know. And again, I'm not being led by Jordan Love, so maybe behind closed doors he's different. But I think everybody loves Jordan Love. I don't know how many people are scared of him. And I think sometimes there is that little bit of fear. Brian would be able to speak to this better than I could. But like, I know Corey Linsley has his rookie year. Those two became very close, right, Brian? But he was scared to death. Like, I was interviewing him once, and he went over. First, he went to Sitton and Lang. Then he went to Rodgers to ask them if they could answer that, if he could answer the question I was asking him. And they all said no. So he came back and said, "I'm sorry, Jason, I can't answer that question."
Yeah. I mean, as a rookie, I was a little frightened. I mean, I certainly did not want to get on a bad side. Yeah. I was frightened. I mean, you don't want to piss the guy off for sure. Right. I mean, and that's like, but I feel like as a young player, and even in my second year, I felt that way. Right. I mean, it's a respect thing. I mean, obviously I was raised that way too. I mean, it's the way I was raised with, how I was raised by my mom and dad, but like there's a hierarchy, right? And he's earned his stripes. He's earned his stripes. So like you respect what he's done. And he runs this thing. So like, you don't want the main man mad at you, because obviously if he gets mad at you for something, it's because you're not doing your job properly. He's just not going to be mad at you because you're blocking well. Like, he's not going to be mad at you because you didn't do your job. So, like, it's because you're not performing.
And I would argue that if he balanced that a little bit better, right? Because, look, for example, I don't know if Amari Rodgers would have been a terrible NFL player regardless, but he devastated that kid. Like, he had bad confidence to begin with, and he made it worse, okay? Now, again, maybe Amari Rodgers just wasn't good enough, and Aaron Rodgers has very little tolerance for people who stink. So I get it. But, again, I would argue, especially because he's the old head now, and you were still – when you came along, I don't know if players had changed quite as much as they have now. Like, I would argue that it's not Lombardi era, it's not that kind of stuff, and it's not even Rodgers era. Like, you have to know how to balance chewing them out and have them be a little afraid of you. And I think he was really good at that with a lot of guys, Lucas Patrick, Corey Linsley, etc. But I do think that is one thing that they aren't as detailed offensively as he demanded. And if we were looking for one thing that they could be better with him with, I would say that's what it would be.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also brought to you in part by our friends at Higher Love. It's game day if you're heading up to Green Bay in the next couple of weeks. Make a quick stop at Higher Love Cannabis Company, just over the border in Menominee, Michigan, less than an hour north of Green Bay. Award-winning, locally owned, organically grown, the best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD for more information. We will continue to discuss Rodgers versus the Packers. Coming up next, it is the Jason Wilde Hour of Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 8337-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only. And you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
Gold
Goldsmiths are essential to running a jewelry store, but they're extremely hard to find.
Goldsmiths can repair jewelry, set diamonds, resize rings, and create beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces of custom jewelry.
Most jewelry stores do not have an in-house goldsmith.
But Kessler's has 18 wonderful goldsmiths working in our 9 Kessler stores.
The average Kessler's goldsmith has more than 15 years of full-time experience.
And that's not counting all the apprentice goldsmiths and jewelry designers.
Our goldsmiths repair a lot of jewelry that we did not sell.
Bring us your broken jewelry and we'll bring it back to life.
When you see a woman with an extremely attractive, very distinctive engagement ring,
you can safely assume that it's a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind ring made by the goldsmiths at Kessler's.
When your relationship is special, you need a special engagement ring.
If you want something that's breathtakingly one of a kind,
come to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Football's back, and if you're headed up toward Green Bay, the perfect stop is Higher Love Cannabis Company, just seconds over the border in Menominee, Michigan. Less than an hour from Green Bay. An easy stop before or after the game or anytime you're passing through town. And with so many low-quality, unregulated CBD products floating around Wisconsin, trust matters. Higher Love, award-winning, organically grown, locally owned, and the real deal. Higher Love Cannabis Company, best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It's one of 17 for sure. Obviously, with the 18 years I played there, this one is, a little more special than the other ones. But when I saw that the NFC North was on the schedule and the Jets were on the schedule, thought that was pretty cool to be able to play all those teams. But I said it a while ago, but this one would mean a lot more if it was in Lambeau, just because of affection I have for that place and, the hallowed ground of Lambeau Field and all the amazing memories that I have there over the years. But, it's a fun one.
Fun one indeed. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers on facing his former team for the first time. Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strofe, John Anderson, Brian Balaga hanging out with you, as is Jason Wilde during the Jason Wilde Hour, the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, co-host of Wilde and Tausch with us in the 5 o'clock hour of the program. Jason, that's been the chatter all week. Aaron Rodgers, and obviously you know him better than most when it comes to, obviously, years of doing Tuesdays with Aaron and the working relationship you had for so many years during his tenure as the quarterback in Green Bay. How are you feeling ahead of this one? We talked earlier in the program. It's a little bit different, less vitriol than there was in 2009 when Brett Favre was a member of the Vikings and played the Packers. But it's still unique seeing a guy who played for as long and as well as he did for Green Bay for so long, wins 4 MVPs, wins a Super Bowl. First time and likely only time he gets to play his former team. It just feels different than the other 17, as you just heard Rodgers allude to.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, he's probably, I don't know, maybe he's the ultimate competitor, so maybe it wouldn't have affected his performance. But playing at Lambeau would be a lot more potentially overwhelming than playing these guys at Acrisure Stadium, and it's fine. California Sensimilla. I would also say this, and I don't know if Rob mentioned this. I was, as I mentioned, mowing my lawn during his appearance. Did he mention the fact, because he and I were talking about it, at no point did Rodgers say Matt LaFleur's name or Brian Gutekunst's name, right? At no point this week did he say their names. He mentioned Mike McCarthy. He mentioned, the nutritionist, Adam Corzin. He mentioned team photographer Evan Siegel multiple times. I didn't expect him to say Goody's name, but he didn't even say Matt's name. Now, again, maybe that's nothing, But, I think he's a really smart guy. Just ask him. And he's not going to say something that he shouldn't during this week, right? And, again, maybe everything works out the way it's supposed to work out, because I had more direct questions for him this week. And maybe it's best that he never called me back, because I am very curious what the actual truth is. Because I don't think he feels vitriol for the organization and for Romeo Dobbs or Elton Jenkins or Rashawn Gary or Jordan Love. But the idea that this is all puppy dogs and ice cream and seashells and balloons, he's an assassin, and he is a competitor. And if you don't think that he cares more about this one than the other 16 on the schedule, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, but that's basic psychology, isn't it? Right? I mean, you eventually, effectively were shown the door. You leave a franchise you did so much for, and even if time heals all wounds, and the wounds are healed, naturally you're still going to want to kick that team's ass, for lack of a better term. That's just basic human psychology in my mind.
Yeah, I would say that there are different ways that things end, though, right?
Sure.
Like Brian not being re-signed. I don't know. Tausch, they drafted Tauscher's replacement. Dude turned out to be pretty damn good too. But there wasn't a bitterness there. He was toward the end, and he knew he was toward the end. So that's one variable there. But look, yes, of course. Does Aaron Jones, every time he plays the Packers, want to be productive and have a good game? Of course. But I think for Rodgers, it's a little bit different. And again, the messaging all week was how much and I believe him when he says he loves Jordan. I do. I also think those first 2 years, and Brian was there for one of them. No, was 19 your last year?
Yeah. Yep.
So I do think that he looked at Jordan Love the way I did in 20 and 21 when he was winning MVPs and said, this guy's nowhere close to being as good as me. I have nothing to worry about. Like he felt about, Matt Flynn or Brian Brom or Brett Hundley or anybody else who came through there. So
Brian Brom on the show today. I love that. Continue. Sorry.
Somebody let Merrill Hodge know. Anyway.
Good reference.
Wasn't it Merrill Hodge?
I believe it was Merrill Hodge. Yes, I believe it was Merrill Hodge.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, is that the end of your thought?
I was waiting for you to bury Seneca Wallace before we finished, so I didn't know how long we were going to have to go.
Scott Tolzien.
Scotty T.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's all kinds of I don't know if baggage is right there, but I bet it wouldn't be. I wouldn't, to borrow Alex's thing. I bet it wouldn't be just a single session at the shrink's office to talk about what happened with the Packers.
Correct.
I think you'd have to go back at least a second time.
At least
to get through all that. That said, we've kind of talked. So apparently, this game they will have both sides of the ball, and the Steelers will be afforded a chance to play offense as well. So Aaron's playing. And then same with Jordan Love. What do you make of guys like T.J. Watt and those guys with bad intentions that would like to do harm to Aaron's replacement?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Zach Tom during the week. That Watt was one of my 3 things to watch. Turns down for Watt. Look, he's still really good. He's 2.5 sacks behind his brother. He's got 112, I think, and his brother's got 114.5 for his career. He had a really quiet game last Thursday night until the end, and he had a big sack. Look, Zach Tom is feeling better. He's not in as excruciating of pain as he had been, but he's still not 100%. And this is a guy that, he never leaves the field. That was one of the things Zach pointed out too, that in some ways, at least you got him all game. But that also means that's every opportunity is going to be him trying to beat you. And it only takes, as Brian well knows, a couple times getting beat, and your otherwise awesome game completely sucked. So, And look, Nick Herbig, another former Badger, has more sacks than he does. He's got 4. Herbig's got 4.5. So, look, they've been pretty good rushing the passer. I would assume that the Packers want to get the ball out of Jordan Love's hands quickly, but just like his predecessor, he likes to occasionally extend the play. I think they got to run the ball well, but they're 31st in pass defense. So they're getting Watson back. They won't have Wicks. You would think that this would be an opportunity, if they can block it up, to put up some yards and some points, and this could be a shootout like the 2009 game that Brian was not there yet for, but Tausch was playing in, where he it was like 39-38 or something ridiculous like that. So
wasn't that a Sunday night game? Was that a Sunday night game?
Good question. I don't know. Unlike Jeff Halfley and Aaron Rodgers, who seem to be able to remember everything, I don't recall. I know I was there, and I really enjoyed hearing Renegade.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's a great song.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, good recall on that, at least.
Huh.
Maybe not the game time, but I can tell you this, for the temperature, it's going to be about 53 at kickoff in Pittsburgh, dipping under the 50s into the 40s with a waxing crescent phase on the moon, for those of you curious, whether it's a cold...
Is it a gibbous?
No, it's a crescent. No gibbous. That's only when they play the Lions on Thanksgiving. Whether it's a cold Lambeau breeze, a rainy afternoon, or that perfect fall football chill like it'll be tonight in Pittsburgh, you want windows that can handle it all with a 90% satisfaction rate. Window Nation can install your windows in one day, depending on the job. Right now, when you buy 2 replacement windows, you'll get 2 for free, plus pay nothing for 2 whole years. But you got to hurry. That sale ends at the end of the week, October 31st. Schedule your free estimate now. WindowNation.com. Is it a gibbous? No. Is it a crescent? Yes. Yes or no? With Jason Wilde as John Anderson facepalms already. Is coming up next and says he slides out of the frame on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into nonstop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' tastes. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit vprivatebar.com to book today.
Is back pain slowing you down? When it comes to spine care, you need specialized expertise. At the OAW Spine Center, their orthopedic care specialists provide the highest level of care for everything from herniated discs to spinal fusion. They start with the most conservative, non-surgical treatments like physical therapy and injections. If surgery is needed, minimally invasive procedures at the OAW Spine Center will get you back on your feet faster. With a focus on treating the source of the problem, they take a comprehensive, active approach to spine health, getting you back to the life you love. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWspinecenter.com. That's OAWspinecenter.com.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
The puck drops at the Kohl Center this month, Badger fans. Wisconsin men's hockey returns to the ice for the 2025-2026 season, geared with grit and hungry for glory. Coach Mike Hastings and the Badgers are building on last year's success, and the time to secure your spot is now. Single game, mini pack, and group tickets are moving fast. Don't wait. Visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS to lock in your seats today.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drug driving, and let's achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WT.
Majority of that offseason and then returning and talking to reporters for like 40 minutes about the different things he wanted as the leader of that team. It was a great press conference. Jason, I imagine you were there.
I was there that time.
Okay. Yeah,
I
you
was
were
there for that.
You were
Yeah,
there
that
for
one I
that?
was there for.
All right.
Yeah.
And you remember that one because I'm not overselling it, am I? I mean, that was like all-time stuff from Rodgers back in 21.
Yeah, no, we went into that wondering if he would strike a reconciliatory tone of, hey, I'm back, let's work through this together. And he didn't. Basically, it was like, I didn't know if I was at a press conference or at Festivus. Airing of the grievances.
Plenty of airing of grievances that day, no doubt about that. And always some airing of grievances when we play this game on Green Bay Game Day. It's time now for a yes or no.
Will today be the day there are black and white answers from our most respected journalist?
Possibly. I think we shouldn't be greedy. Maybe. You would certainly hope so.
It's time for yes or no with Jason Wilde.
Hopefully, this actually might be an airing of grievance for me as I ask the first question. So we've quite the uniform matchup tonight as the Steelers wear their 1933 striped throwbacks that kind of look like bumblebees. And then we have the winter warning uniforms for the Packers with their white helmets. So, okay, well, we know Brian's answer as I ask this first question. I'll actually start with Brian. Yes or no, you like the Steelers throwback uniforms?
No, I mean I don't like it. No, I don't like the winter warning uniforms when it's not winter.
Yeah, that's true.
So like it's not winter and we're wearing winter warning.
Wilde's mowing his lawn. He's not shoveling his driveway.
Yeah, I mean he's mowing grass and we're wearing winter warning uniforms. Like what are we talking about? Like,
Great point, John. Great point by John.
John and Jason can like give me the maybe, I don't know. I mean, that's fine, but like I'm a definite no.
Hard no here.
It's a hard no for me.
Jason, yes or no, you like the 1933 striped throwbacks?
First of all, to Brian's point, second time that they've worn the winter warnings because they wore them against
Washington
on Thursday Night Football. I'm not going to answer this as a stupid question, but Brian, what do you hate more, the winter warnings or next week's uniform, which are the throwbacks with the painted leather helmets that you have also gone on the record saying you are not a big fan of? I saw the guys trying them on Friday, getting not the helmets, but the jerseys. Nazir Stackhouse having a little bit of trouble getting into his.
Boy.
And so it was,
boy.
I don't know if they're maybe tailored a little bit differently, but which ones do you hate more, the winter warnings or the throwbacks, which I actually kind of like the throwbacks, but I'm not sure about the leather helmet in your estimation.
I like the throwback uniform better, but the helmet is a hard no. It's a hard no on the helmet. The uniform, yes. I'll take the white helmet that they're wearing tonight, but the helmet is a hard no. It's a hard no on the helmet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes or no, John Anderson, you knew Brian Bulaga was such a fashionista?
Didn't know, and near as I can tell, it's only the guys who put them on. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. So, and then with the Steelers, I will quote the great Chris Russo, who once went on this long soliloquy about one of the guys for, I believe it was a player for like the Lions. And then he ended up by going, but I haven't seen him, should. So that's maybe what I'm thinking about the uniforms of the Steelers. I haven't seen him, should. We'll leave it at that.
All right, fair enough. Jason, we'll start with you on this one. Yes or no, the Packers should keep 2 kickers on their roster for the foreseeable future?
Perfect question, because I can say both yes and no at the same time. Because for the Lucas Havrisik story and for the possible, I don't think probable, but possible trade value, yes. For the actual functionality and using a roster spot on a guy who, based on the tweets I'm seeing from Pittsburgh, isn't going to kick tonight. Looks like Brandon McManus was giving the thumbs up to people after he got done with his workout, and he was talking to Goody. So it sounds like he's going to kick.
Yep.
So from that perspective, no.
Got it. We will get to the injury report in just a moment, but want to get the answer from these two as the Packers find themselves in a unique situation with a kicker that now holds their franchise record for longest field goal made at 61 yards last week. And obviously the savvy vet Brandon McManus. Bulaga, yes or no, they should roster 2 kickers for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, well, I'm with Jason with I'm going to say yes for what Jason said for value for a potential trade partner, right? I mean, because you gave McManus a lot of money, right? And he is, by all means, a reliable, really good kicker. As much as I love the story, right? You just don't keep 2 kickers on the roster. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So I would do it and see if there's value in it, right? I mean, see if there's trade value in it. So that's why I would keep him on for right now. Yeah.
John?
When Dave Robinson, the then eventual Hall of Famer for the Green Bay Packers, was drafted out of Penn State, Vince Lombardi, in an effort to motivate him, said, I think your best way to make this team might be as a kicker. I'm going to give me a linebacker or a lineman who can get it just far enough to put it in that zone, and then I'm cutting both kickers, and I'm going to drive the analytics guys crazy. I'm going for 2, and I'm going on 4th down, and I guarantee you that my team will beat your team in the long run. How about that?
All right.
So I'm cutting them both. So that's a yes and a no. No, I don't know what it is. I'm not taking either one of them. I'm going to spin the analytics guys in circles.
All right. There you have it. Well, that will not be the case tonight for the Green Bay Packers as we take a look at the injury report, which is brought to you by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com today for more information. Brandon McManus is active. Lucas Havrisik is inactive. McManus will take care of booting duties tonight for the Green Bay Packers. Also questionable was wide receiver Matthew Golden. He will go tonight. And returning for the first time in a few weeks, defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt active for the Packers tonight. The other inactives, nothing too surprising. Dontavian Wicks and Lucas Van Ness, who we expected to be out, are both out. And your healthy scratches, Jacob Monk, Warren Brinson, and Donovan Jennings, the offensive lineman, out again. So your full inactives, Wicks, Haversick, Monk, Jennings, Van Ness, Brinson in order of jersey number. But Golden, McManus, Wyatt's all active. Good sign, Jason, for these Packers.
Well, I mean, it's a good sign that Golden's active. He was added to the injury report on Friday with some sort of hip issue that must have cropped up in practice. So, yeah, that's good news. We all knew as soon as we talked to Christian Watson on Wednesday that he was playing. And then he posted that montage on his social media before they made the announcement yesterday. So that's not a surprise. I do think it's worth noting that they must feel really good about McManus, because one thing that I learned from Rich Bisaccia is that he really doesn't want his punter having a field goal kick. And by the way, they cut the backup holder, or at least one of them. My guy Chipotle Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
Ben Sims is gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know who'd handle the holding. I would guess now at this point it's probably Malik Willis. But again, they don't have a safety net if he aggravates his leg on a kickoff. So Lucas Haversick collecting another week's paycheck. I think he makes $49,000 a week on his minimum salary deal. So good for him.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I like Brandon McManus. I don't have anything against him at all. He has been very helpful when I've had questions. So this is his name could be John Anderson or whatever, but I kind of want to see a miss or two tonight to create a kicking controversy.
Okay, well that's unnecessary.
All right, here we go.
Don't you think that would be interesting?
Not if it leads to a loss.
I don't think so.
You guys are worried about wins and losses. We got 2 fans and a former Packer. I'm thinking in storyline.
Yeah, you always do. I'm not saying it wouldn't be interesting, but I would prefer not to be sweating this one out tonight, which I will do regardless, because I will be. Yeah, I always do. I do regardless, always. Add Prize Picks on top of it, and it'll kick it to another notch. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code GKB for good kick, Brandon. Or not so good kick, Brandon. GKB. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GKB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Jason, Prize Picks, it's good.
It's right to be good.
It's good to be right with Prize Picks, yeah. No doubt about that. All right, we will wrap up the Jason Wilde Hour. We will continue to react to who's in and who's out as Matthew Golden, Brandon McManus, Devontae Wyatt all in for the Packers, and get Jason's final thoughts ahead of Rodgers versus Packers. That is coming up next on Green Bay Game Day. Hey, being good is right, isn't it?
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hey Wisconsin, it's football season, and that means it's time to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% Blue Weber agave, all natural and so smooth it's criminal. Try the award-winning Blanco, Reposado, and Yeho, and the new high-proof Plata 47. Ask for El Bandito Yankee at your favorite bar or restaurant, and buy it today at Woodman's and Festival Foods. And for tailgates, recipes, and more places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Homer here. Whether you're cheering from the stands or watching the game from your backyard, every fan knows great moments deserve great vibes. Swing into Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan. Just across the Wisconsin border, they offer a full line of high-quality, clean-green, certified CBD products designed to help you relax, recover, and recharge no matter the season. Higher Love is organically grown, locally owned, and proudly one of the best in the Midwest. Visit them in Menominee or explore the full CBD lineup at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Bucks basketball is back, and it's time to play. There's nothing like the energy inside Fiserv Forum. The roar of the crowd, the freakish slam dunks, the buzzer-beating threes. Catch the Bucks at home against New York Tuesday, October 28th, and Golden State Thursday, October 30th. And with the addition of Miles Turner, this season is set to be electric. Get in on the action with a ticket plan that works for you. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Get your seats now at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
I'm the guy that never gives 5 stars because I never believe that anything is perfect. But I would give them 20 stars if I could.
Ernest Stellar Review belongs to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments. They came through when he badly needed relief for his aching knees, and doctors had told him that surgery was the only option.
What they're doing is cutting edge, and it really helps. And I'm a tough sell.
QC Kinetics is led by National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field. With 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, publishing in non-surgical natural pain treatments. These are the medical pros to trust.
I'm living my life basically pain-free from what I was dealing with, so I'm a happy camper today, no doubt about it.
QC Kinetics. Call today to see if you're a candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9.
Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Matt is a close hugger. Like, he loves the close hug, and then almost, you're kind of side face to side face sometimes.
Like Jerry and his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how much hugging goes on between those two, Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur. Tonight, that back when Rodgers was the Packers quarterback during an appearance, which he used to make weekly on the Pat McAfee Show, now doesn't. It's now Mike McCarthy instead on the Pat McAfee Show. The Circle of Life. Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Stroff, John Anderson, Super Bowl champion Brian Balaga with you. And wrapping up our final few minutes with our buddy Jason Wilde, the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. All right, Jason, final thoughts on this one. It's Packers, Steelers, but more importantly, it's Packers versus Rodgers.
It's not. It's Packers versus the Steelers, who happen to have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. That's what my coach told me. Look, I want to take the focus off of Rodgers for a second. I'm curious how Jordan Love plays tonight.
Me too.
You know who the best quarterback in the history of Sunday Night Football is?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Blanken Love. He's got a 122.6 passer rating. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns and no picks. That's 4 starts in which the Packers are 3-0-1. And then when he went into that Philly game, he was 8 for 9 or 6 for 9 for 113 yards and a tutter. So statistically, he's been really good. Unfortunately, this game's a little bit different. So I'm curious to see how he plays. And that was why I kind of took the approach of focusing on him today in my story, because Lord knows we had focused plenty on Aaron Rodgers this week. So I want to see how he plays. We talked about it this morning on Sunday Karma, and I think it's really interesting. He is a very good quarterback. But what he has done the last 2 weeks, which he was not doing earlier in the year when he threw a critical interception, he threw a boneheaded check down to Emmanuel Wilson when the clock tick, 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 as John Anderson's former colleague would like to say on Sunday Night Countdown or whatever it was, Sunday Night, whatever. He's made clutch plays. He made a clutch throw in the Cincinnati game to Golden. He made a clutch throw to Tucker Kraft late in the game last Sunday. Is he going to make the clutch throws tonight that they can win a game on the road against the Bumblebee uniforms in Brian's favorite all-white uniforms? To me, it comes to quarterback. If this is a duel, and Aaron Rodgers taught Jordan Love well. Jordan Love used the same ridiculous line that Rodgers used to use every time he played Brady or anybody else. Well, it's not really me against Tom. It's me against their defense and him against our defense. It's not head-to-head. Love did the same thing this week on Wednesday. So, okay, well, let's see what you do against the Steelers defense that's 31st in the league in pass defense.
Yeah, light him up like you've done in your history on Sunday Night Football. Hopefully he can continue that tonight. Are you back in the prediction business? Are you out of the prediction business? Can I ask you what you think is going to happen tonight?
I never returned to the prediction business. I'm not interested in that because as I have learned, sometimes the hard way, people like Brian, who I love dearly. He's like a younger brother who we don't see eye to eye politically, but we get along great. They get really pissed. They get really pissed when you pick against them and they hear about it and then they win and, do they want to rub it in on your face? So I just, it's the path of least resistance is to pick the Packers every week, but I can't do that either because that's disingenuous. So I say, nope, no predictions for me.
Okay, so let me ask it this way then. What is the best storyline that you would like to see play out tonight?
Besides the kicking controversy.
Besides the two missed PATs?
Yeah, 2 missed PATs and Aaron Rodgers does what?
I want Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love to have like a Dan Fouts versus Dan Marino, Elway versus Montana. I want this to be like I want us to walk out with like Rodgers has thrown for 375 and 4 touchdowns. Love has thrown for 363 and 3 touchdowns. Like that's what I want it to be. Well, what was the Monday night game? 48-47 when Mark Mosley missed the field goal in 1983. Was that 83?
83 off the start short season.
Yeah, so it was the first time I ever got to stay up for Monday Night Football. And it was the final score, Packers won at home 48-47. And if we get that tonight, I'm all in. As long as there's a couple of missed extra points.
Got it. Okay, got it. Yeah.
If the man say he needs the quarterback to go out and play more like Lynn Dickey, and then we'll be okay.
Okay,
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, that's who Love is always compared to is Lynn Dickey. No other Packers quarterbacks are the ones we compare him to. Absolutely. All right, Jason, we'll be listening to you after the game on Green Bay Game Night and bright and early tomorrow, 9 a.m. on Wilde and Tausch. Thanks, buddy.
I'm trying to see if it's still light enough for me to finish mowing my lawn.
Get a headlamp.
It's a good idea. I think I will do that. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Hey, up at the Tundra Trio tailgate, which we have for each and every home game, our partners and fans sip on some incredible cocktails from V Private Bar Services, the go-to team behind our bar hospitality that bring the flavor, the flair, and the experience that takes our game day to the next level. Raise the bar for your next event and book V Private Bar Services today. That's V Private Bar Services. Today, we've got a ton to get to in the 6 o'clock hour. We're going to talk about heroes. We got to talk about trivia questions. We got to talk about one calls and best bets and all the in-betweens as we lead you to kickoff. It's Packers Steelers Sunday Night Football at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. We continue with you right after this.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into nonstop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
NBA fans, the race for the Emirates NBA Cup is on.
When the games begin,
30 teams will start, but only 8 will advance.
Oh, he puts it in!
And only one champion will capture the cup.
Let's go!
To finish first, they'll have to put the pedal to the metal. Who will capture the cup? Well, let's see what happens on the court.
Basketball is back!
Emirates NBA Cup group play begins Friday on Prime.
We all have someone we know or love that has been affected by some form of cancer.
No matter how well you love and support them and try to be there for them, you can never really know what a person is feeling after hearing the words, "You have breast cancer."
Only another person that has been through this experience can really understand what it feels like.
ABCD, After Breast Cancer Diagnosis, is a Milwaukee-based organization known around the world.
When someone calls ABCD, they are matched with a mentor who is a breast cancer survivor of similar age and has the same type of breast cancer who can provide hope when people need it the most.
Kessler's is excited to announce that we've designed 3 new Hope pendants to honor breast cancer patients, survivors, thrivers, and caregivers.
100% of the net proceeds, along with an additional donation from Kessler's, will support ABCD when you purchase the symbol of hope.
You can find a link with more information about ABCD, along with all 3 modern designs starting at just $75 in sterling silver and $598 in gold, online at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, it's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch, inviting you to join me July 5th on a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette. Take in the charm of the countryside and the history of the great cities. Imagine standing before Big Ben in London, then later gazing out from Edinburgh Castle. So rich in history, it feels like you're stepping back in time. Along the way, we'll explore the storybook villages of Chester and Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon, places where every street seems to whisper a piece of history. And how about a scenic train ride through the rolling green hills that lead us right into the medieval city of York? It's all part of this incredible journey. From iconic landmarks to cozy villages, from bustling city streets to peaceful countryside views, you'll experience the very best of Britain's history, culture, and beauty, and create memories that last a lifetime. Text TRAVEL to 800-990-3776 for full details. To learn more about this amazing adventure, come to the meet and greet on Tuesday, November 4th at 6 p.m. at Buck and Honey's Monona. If you can't make it, visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com to learn how you can join virtually.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Breast, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
What's the fake? Pass caught. Touchdown. Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Now broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, ESPN legend John Anderson, and former Packer Brian Balaga. Here's Alex Strofe.
Hour number 3, Green Bay Game Day with you on ESPN Wisconsin, getting you ready for Packers and Steelers Sunday Night Football at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. It's been a rough day in the NFL. Not a lot of close games going on in the National Football League, unless you're the Jets getting your first win of the season. That was a 1-point win over the Bengals. But your afternoon slate looks like this. It's the Broncos over the Cowboys, 43-17. It's the Colts over the Titans, 38-7. And that other afternoon game has gone final as the Buccaneers beat up the Saints and their rookie quarterback, Tyler Shuck, who entered the game 23-3. Buccaneers now 6-2 and in the front seat of the NFC South. So those are your afternoon games. All of them disgusting. The only close game of the day pretty much was that Jets win over the Bengals by a point, 39-38.
Did you say they were disgusting? Is that it?
That was the word I used, yes. Is that an unfair word?
No, I just think it's very funny. It's a great word. It's just not often used about that. But
that's fair.
It's funny, too, because there were a bunch of double-digit point spreads, and you're like, boy, I hate to give 14.5 is a lot of stuff to get. You're like, I think I'll take all those, and it wouldn't have mattered, man. People just got beat up.
Yeah, so hopefully, I guess, for football fans everywhere, this is a competitive game. And frankly, I never root for the Packers to lose, and I'm not doing that here, but I am rooting for a close game, and I do want to see Rodgers succeed. I want to see him play well tonight because
God, you want a lot of stuff.
I'm a needy guy, John. Haven't you learned that about me?
Man.
I think he's going to play well, regardless if you want it or need it. I think he's going to play well regardless. I think there's certain games that it's just going to be inevitable. I just think this is going to be one of them. And what that looks like, is that going to be 250, 300, 2 touch? I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's gonna. I don't see him laying an egg.
I don't either.
Like that. That's not like that. To me, that's not something I see happening. But again,
how does your rooting interest work tonight?
I want to see him do well, right? Like I think that's something that I always, ever since he left and he went to the Jets, you want to see him do well. But I kind of look at it as, for Green Bay, I always want to see Green Bay do well too. So it's kind of like, it's this one time of the year. Because, you have buddies that play, Green Bay standpoint, like
right.
The guys are weaning on the guys that I know that play there as the years go on. We'll put it that way. Like, it's the numbers diminishing as the time goes on here. But I just think from an organizational standpoint, you want to see him do well. You want to see him get another championship. That'd be great. It's more of at this point, you want to see a competitive game because, like you said, like I've been watching these all day and they stink. You do want to see a competitive game. You want to see a good game. You want to see Aaron play well. I really want to see the Packers offensive line get Josh Jacobs going. Like that to me is something that I really want to see get going because, the Steelers defense, I know we talked about Watt. He is very good. The way to take him away is to run the football. Like you don't want to have TJ Watt impact the game, run the ball. Like be able to run the football against them. So that's something that I really want to see Green Bay do well today is run the ball. And I get that takes away from what Wilde said is the Rodgers and Love duel, but I want to see Josh Jacobs run for over 100 yards finally. Like I want to see that. That would be really nice. That'd be something good to see. So, my rooting interest, I think a lot of people ask me that, and I always want to see Green Bay do well, but I don't know if it ruins my week quite like you.
Nothing, no.
Yeah, I don't know if it ruins.
Yeah, Alex goes down. Alex goes hard.
I sure do.
Alex, I don't know if it takes my week, but
it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But I'll say this: like if they don't if they play well and they lose, and it's like you chalk it up to another team playing well, right? Like, but if they lose and they do it like they did in Cleveland, you're kind of like, all right, like that's.
Let me be very upfront. I think they're going to lose tonight. I do. I just it feels like one of those games where number one, obviously the Rodgers effect, right? Like he would join Breeze, Favre, Manning, and Brady as the only team or only quarterbacks to beat all 32 active NFL franchises. That's pretty good company. That's the company he holds in just about every statistic you look at when it comes to him. But on the other side, it's like I'm struggling to kind of figure out what this Packers team is, as I mentioned to Rob a bit earlier. I think their defense is good, but I'm a little bit concerned about the cornerbacks. Sometimes I'm concerned about getting pressure, but they were able to do it last week against the backup quarterback and a not-so-great offensive line. Offensively, to your point earlier on Josh Jacobs, like it seems like they've started to get him going, but can they consistently do it like they did a year ago, right? Use Jacobs to open up the pass and really open up your offense. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this could be like a mid-scoring, very close game that Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense finds a way to pull out at the end. That's how I think it's going to play out, but I'm also not a psychic, so I could be completely wrong on that.
Yeah, the only reason why, like, I kind of look at it as like Aaron, it has the Aaron Rodgers effect that like it pulls me towards the Steelers, but at the same time, like, I don't know if the Steelers defense can stop anything.
I don't either. That's the thing.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like I look at it from the standpoint of like, yeah, Aaron, what'd they score against Cincinnati? 30-something?
31, yeah.
But it didn't matter. Right? Like,
true.
Like it didn't matter. So Cincinnati had the ball. They had the ball last, and they won the game. So like it didn't matter because the Steelers defense isn't stopping anybody.
The Packers are all things considered, the Packers are the better team in this game. I just think we're due for one of those weird ones that it seems like they have a couple times a year. I just think today is the day for that.
Yeah,
maybe it's too obvious. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that offensively Green Bay does not fall into one of those traps, right? Like, and what I mean by one of those traps is that, say Aaron does get going, right? He does start playing well, and they're throwing it well, and you don't try to go like for like. And what I mean, like, you know what I mean? You don't try to go up and down with Aaron, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong where if Aaron throws for touchdowns, it doesn't mean you can't run for touchdowns and do things that way, right? Like, you don't have to match him throwing. There's not many that have throughout NFL history. So like, it doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to look the same on both sides because by all means, Pittsburgh has not run the ball well. They've done mostly everything through the air through this point. If you look at them statistically, offensively right now, and Pittsburgh's only been a running offense. That's what they've always done, right? And duo, Le'Veon Bell and Bennett. I mean, that's just what they've been. But now they're throwing the ball really well. So if Aaron gets going, doesn't mean you have to just get in shotgun and start throwing it around Heinz Field. I'm calling it Heinz Field. That's just sorry. I can't.
No, you've done it all show. No apology necessary.
Yeah,
you're grandfathered in.
yeah, I gotta be. So like, it's just one of those things that like I really want to see Green Bay like Jacobs. Like, and this should be the game that he does it. Like, I don't know what Pittsburgh's ranked against the run, but if they're 31st overall in passing, they got to be somewhere near the 20s in rush. If I had to take a guess. So I just think that if you want to keep Rodgers off the field and you don't want that effect, run the ball with Jacobs. Run the ball with Jacobs and keep 8 over there on the sideline and let them watch.
I like it. John, how are you feeling over there? You've been a little quiet this segment.
I've taken some notes during your guys' discussion recently.
Okay, go on.
As to the disgusting football, first off, if the Broncos wore those uniforms, they'd beat everybody by 40 because they're one of the great uniforms in NFL history.
Good opinion.
Of course, Brian, Alex is picking them to lose because unless you lose, you cannot have a get-right game.
It's true.
That makes perfect
Great
sense.
point, John. You're learning.
Yeah.
Valid.
So we're setting up for next week's get-right game, which we got to have.
Against Carolina, hello.
Yes, and against Carolina, that is a get-right game.
That's up for the perfect get-right game.
Yes,
so we're looking for that. Listen, Saquon Barkley broke out today, so I think Jacob should get his now since Saquon did his. Yep. And the other part I had, which is, and I know, Brian, you said when you went over to the Chargers, it was kind of you were in the that was a COVID thing, right? So it was very hard. It was a different onboarding. But I am curious we keep talking about Rodgers in here, and just the adaptation you have to make to a new place, because it seems to me the plays are all about the same, right? Like if you want a trap play or an outside zone read play, they may call it something different in Pittsburgh or San Diego, but you block it the same. But the little things, when he talked about the photographer, like learning the person's name in the new people that you tape your ankles or you have to go see to get a new face mask, like all those kind of things. How does that disrupt a routine, or how does that comfortability you have in Green Bay after 10 years, I feel like maybe my head would be swimming outside of when I'm on the field and I go, oh, good, we ran a trap play. That I get.
That was probably the hardest thing was figuring all that out, right? Because you're so used to like the comfort of knowing where everything is, who everyone is, and exactly what to get from everyone. Like,
who do I go to get a ticket? I know. Who do I do this? Yes. I know, right?
Yes, and that was the easiest part. And then COVID came and no one was in the building besides certain people. And it's just like, all right, so like if I need X, Y, or Z, who do I go to? Well, they're not here until 3 today. And it's like, all right, like this, like it was very strange. But like, I guess for him now, obviously, like he's made it pretty clear that like he's one and done. I don't know if that's going to be true or not. We don't really know. I would say it's a little different to him because they cater to, they cater to certain guys in a different way, and he's obviously who he is, and he'll get what he needs no matter what. But I always found it learning playbooks and things like that and terminology. Once you flip some things around in your head, it becomes pretty basic. Like, and for quarterbacks, obviously, it's a little more detailed than what the linemen have to learn. I mean, obviously, the routes and everything and what they may call some things for those guys is a lot more, a little more detailed. But for us, once you get protections and you get runs and you get that, once you move those things around in your brain, you're good. It is like getting your bearings with like learning people's names that you have to rely on for like the simplest things, right? Like, and you don't really realize it until you leave a place that you've been for so long, and being comfortable, like asking for simple things like, hey man, can I get a new pair of like underwear? Like just like simple thing, like a new pair of spandex. Like, hey, I need a new pair of spandex. Like, where do I get those from? Or like, can I get a new pair? And they're like, well, yeah, like you just go and ask, so-and-so. But like, you're just so used to how you would normally do it in Green Bay. Like, that's not how they did it in LA. They did it a different way. So like, it was just in Green Bay, there were drawers, you'd go get it. In LA, it was like, so it was just a different way about doing things. And it took a while to get used to that. And it just, some guys are able to adapt to it. And obviously with the way COVID was and how we weren't able to be in the building, even year 2, we were still under kind of that same protocol of coming in and testing and doing things like that. It was still a little bit better, but still the same. You never got a real good like vibe of the place, and you never got a really good feel for everybody because of how, quarantined and contained everything was and how it was. But when everything's opened back up, like kind of how everything is there now, you can really get a good, grasp of the place and meet people and talk to people and build these relationships that you couldn't do at that point in time. It was literally impossible. You'd show up to work, be in your little bubble, and go home. You do Zoom meetings like we're on right now, like we could see each other. You do meetings like that, and that was that. Like, it was wild times. We'll just put it that way. And
well, I just think that's the thing that Rodgers has to go through now, literally for the third time in 4 years, is he goes from completely comfortable where he knows everybody to who's this guy and now who is this guy. And in his case, right, if you're going to complain, who are you going to complain to? Or if you're like, I just think that's a part of the thing that we miss sometimes during the week that can drain a guy aside from just learning what the game plan is.
Well, yeah. I mean, and certainly you saw it with the Jets when they were losing, right? When you're losing and things are going poorly, you can see how things were taking a toll on them, right? But like, it seems to be things. I mean, I get they just lost last week. I understand that, but like, things seem to be going well over there. He seems to be having a decent working relationship with the OC, which people seem to be saying preseason that he wouldn't work well with. What is it? Arthur Smith, I think, is the OC. Seems to be going well. Yeah, seems to be going well with that so far, and they seem to be doing well. And obviously, he's got a ton of respect for Tomlin. So, like, things seem to be going fine. And to me, that's like, the key to this thing is if your working relationships are going well and you're having success on the field, it cleans up a lot of those things that may be a hindrance behind the scenes, which is like not being familiar with some of those things that people don't even think about when it comes to moving cities and moving organizations and having no idea like who some people even are. Like and it makes it tough. It does. Like it took me a couple years like to like really know the names of everyone in the back room staff of the Packers. Right? Like it took me a couple years to like remember all the names and remember every single person. And now like I remember everyone's name even now. Like even like today, if I know all their names. So like what I mean, once you remember them, you remember everyone. But like it takes a while. Like it takes a couple years to like memorize names and do all that and make sure you don't forget. So like to do it in Aaron's been there in a couple months, like impossible. But then again, he's a savant. Right. I mean, he's got that big old brain of his, so he's probably fine.
I was listening to him, repeat plays that you guys ran or I guess you weren't there quite yet in 2009 when they were in Pittsburgh. Like it was like he had photographic memory. It was insane.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like he sometimes like he almost like he's maybe too smart for his own good at times.
He just likes to show off.
Yeah, I mean he's very smart. He remembers the weirdest things, and well, he's a history buff too. So like that's like football history to him. Right? Yeah. I mean, he's like that's like football history.
Athletes are like that. Go ask golfers; they'll tell you every shot from the first time they broke 70, and what their partners were wearing. Like athletes have a little of that. You live it so much.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet if I showed you, Brian, a picture from just not even like a Super Bowl or playoff game, pick some and showed you just down there what it was and the time and the date, you'd go, oh yeah, I know what happens here. I bet you would be 99
There's a good chance
out of 100 and you 100 plays that you would remember that too.
There's a good chance. Yeah.
Which isn't to say you sell yourself short. I'm like, just don't sell the other guy long. I think a lot of athletes can do that in their profession.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Carved into the memory, man. Yeah. It's carved into the memory. I mean, that's when you go through it. And listen, he's probably called that play a million times. That's the thing. You go through the practice and you go through the game, and then that's the thing. I probably heard him call that same play in the huddle probably another.
That's true.
God knows how many times. I mean, honestly, from 2009 into 2010. If I heard him call that play, I'd be like, I've heard that play too many times. Probably a 7-step drop that I had to block for 5 seconds. I don't like that play.
I don't like that.
All that nomenclature, all that studying, all that nomenclature. At any point, does somebody just go take the tackle? You take the defensive tackle, and I'll hook the end, and we'll be good.
Like, well, I mean, what we would normally do when he goes through all that, right? Like, I mean, he goes through the. All that stuff. We're waiting for it's like you hear the scat 2 jet, 3 jet, Fox 2. Like we're just waiting for the protection. Wait for the protection and the cadence. That's all we want to hear. Protection, cadence, and we're out. I don't want to hear the routes. Now, if it's certain routes, then I want to hear because then it's a long developer. And if it's a long developer, then I know this is going to take a while. It's going to take a while, so I better be ready. Like it'd be a 5-seconder here. We got to be ready. But mostly it's just protection, and snap count. Got those two things. Let's get up to the line.
The 7-step drop and 5-second blocking. It's just amazing. It's only been brought up a few times as the Packers prepare for Aaron Rodgers in less than an hour. Brian Balaga, John Anderson, Alex Strouf with you. Our Lakeland University trivia question today. I mentioned before there's 4 quarterbacks who have beaten the current 32 teams in the NFL. That Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. Aaron Rodgers looking to become the 5th tonight. But there are 2 quarterbacks who beat all 28 teams. I want to see if John and Brian can put their brains together to figure that out on the other side. Trivia brought to you by Lakeland University, Wisconsin's leader in flexible, personalized education. Whether you're just starting college, finishing your degree, or balancing work and family, Lakeland lets you earn your degree your way. Lakeland University, experience it your way. 2 quarterbacks beat every team. There was just only 28 teams in the league when they did it. Which 2 quarterbacks have beaten every team alongside those other 4 names? John and Brian, give it a stab. Coming up after this on Green Bay Game Day.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine Specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com.
At Alpha Custom Apparel, we create standout corporate apparel and promotional gear that makes a lasting impression. Whether it's polos for your next conference, branded jackets for your sales team, or eye-catching giveaways for a client event, we've got you covered. We offer a concierge-like experience for businesses who want more. More customization, more creativity, more impact. From concept to delivery, we help brands big and small show up looking their best with speed, style, and attention to detail. Create with us today at alphacustomapparel.com.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. You may have heard Congress pass the One Big Beautiful Bill, which President Trump campaigned on. Leaving the non-tax parts out, what does the new law mean for business? To be honest, less than you think. There are larger deductions for purchasing equipment and other fixed assets in the year of purchase. The Qualified Business Income Deduction, or QBID, is now a permanent deduction for partnerships and S corporations. Remember the 1099-K back and forth? The minimum amount for issuing 1099-Ks, which are typically from credit card companies or e-commerce sites like Amazon or Shopify, will now be $20,000. Call us now for a free consultation to see how you may be affected by the new law. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
In the Midwest, we know the real deal on the field and in your wellness routine. Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan offers top-tier Michigan-grown CBD products, no shortcuts, no synthetic knockoffs. Just clean, green certified, organically grown CBD crafted for fans who expect the best. Whether you're gearing up for the game or winding down after a win, swing through Higher Love just across the Wisconsin border and experience the highest quality CBD in the Midwest. Higher Love, the real deal, no limitation. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? they'll take care of it. Dented bumper, scratch paint, Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco, Fisco, Fisco.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It was such a tight-knit group for so long there. You know, I outlasted most of them, but it's fun. You know, that's why I feel so good about my time, man, because damn near everything great in my life is because of, you know, my football career. My football career starts and will end one day with Green Bay. So we got a lot of love for all those memories and a lot of great friends that I still carry with me to this day.
Really good stuff from the former Packers quarterback, the current Steelers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, earlier this week while meeting with Green Bay media via Zoom, saying he will eventually retire a Green Bay Packer when it is all said and done for him. Hey, it's Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. I'm Alex Strofe. The Super Bowl champion Brian Bulaga is here. The professor, John Anderson, is here. And I'm going to see how well they can do on this Lakeland University trivia question. There has been 6 quarterbacks in NFL history to defeat every NFL team. Now, the 4 that have done it against all 32 active franchises are Brady, Breeze, Favre, and Manning. No shockers on that list. 2 guys did it, though, when there was only 28 teams in the league. One did it about 20 years before the other. So one did it in the roughly 1960s. One did it roughly in the 1990s, without giving you too much of a pinpoint. Any names come to mind for you two?
That beat all the franchises.
Yes. Meaning
would
they quarterbacked.
Would Montana be one?
He sure would be, yes. Joe Montana did it in the early 1990s when he joined the Chiefs, beat the 49ers. So that's one of the names. The other one is several decades earlier.
Easy.
Yeah, you got it?
Oh, easy. Not even close. Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah, you got it. Nicely done. Fran Tarkenton
Piece
did
of
it.
cake.
In his,
all right, John. All right, John.
He had 4 years and he went to the play with the Giants. He had 4 years with the Giants, and then if
Giants.
you
And then he went
Packer
back.
fans remember Packer fans will remember he used to beat them 9 ways to Sunday. He figured out a way to beat the Packers all the time. When I grew up, right, the Vikings were the team they went to that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, Super Bowl 4, and then clear through, getting drilled by the Steelers and the Dolphins. Chiefs, they lost 4 of them, but they were great all the time. Yeah. Tarkenton just ran around like crazy. He's a guy though I still think, because he was, he's this mad scrambler and ran around forever. But he was a great example of, and I think this happens all the time too when you talk about people and quarterbacks when they get hurt. When you scramble, as long as you stay kind of on your side of the line of the scrimmage, you're usually pretty safe and protected. But man, when you go across that imaginary line to their side of the field, those guys have bad intentions, and that's where you get hurt, right? Like that's where you get hurt is if you're on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Usually, if you're on your side, even if you take a sack or whatever, you're usually going to come out of that all right. I bet if you look, 80% of quarterbacks that get hurt are on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage doing things they should not be doing. Those are things they need to sublet to running backs and wide receivers.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep, no argument here. So Fran Tarkenton and Joe Montana, the other 2 on that list of 6. Rodgers looks to make it an even 7, an odd 7, with a win tonight against
Football,
the Green Bay Packers.
7's a good number.
7 is a good number in football. You're absolutely right on that. Let's talk about who maybe can help the Packers get 7 or 14 or 21 tonight as we play Network Health's I Need a Hero. Network Health, honored to serve many veteran members and also proud to count veterans among their employees because they are based right here in Wisconsin. They are able to develop health plans specifically with their veterans in mind. Network Health. John, we'll start with you. Who do you need to be a hero for the Green Bay Packers as they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight?
This is going to sound like such blatant kissing up to blue, but I need Zach
5 days before Halloween.
Just here to tell you what's going on, dude.
George Kittle did develop National Tight Ends Day.
Okay.
Along
Got
with
it.
Jimmy Garoppolo, oddly enough, his former quarterback. So there you go.
Wow. All right. What a collab.
Yeah,
Got
what a
it.
collab. Since
All right.
2018, it's been celebrated. So this is that makes it
Also,
what, year
it's-
7?
Listen, it's also National Pumpkin Day, National Day of the Deployed, National Mother-in-Law Day. Oops, sorry, missed that one. National Black Cat Day, World Occupational Therapy Day. No, I'm sorry, National Black Cat Day is Monday, but today is National Mother-in-Law Day.
It's also National Mule Day, like the animal,
Yes.
not the alcoholic
So I
beverage.
don't know how tight ends fit in. All I know is that it's Sunday, the mail doesn't go delivered, so I can tell my mother-in-law that that's why it would have been there. But
National Chicken Fried Steak Day.
What in the?
But that's cool. Let's set National Tight End Day and have you fall for it.
Hey, I'm not falling for anything. Did you see the touchdowns galore for tight ends today, John? It's just proof in the pudding right there, man. Well, if you want to celebrate any of those holidays, especially if you're a mother-in-law, it's game day. Kick off your tailgate with Bacardi, whether it's a Bacardi and cola, lime and soda, or a
Get her
spiced and
slosh.
cola.
She'll like you better.
Yeah.
Bacardi, your game day go-to. Grab a bottle at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA. Celebrate responsibly, we should say. Bacardi USA,
Man, what is wrong
Miami,
with
Florida.
Grandma?
Around 40% alcohol by volume. Happy National Mother-in-Law Day. John, I believe you should send a text message during the break. It's what
there you
Brian, you too. That's what it sounds like.
I probably should as well. Yeah, I probably should.
Everybody get on that. As we return, we will continue to talk Packers and Steelers coming up in about 45 minutes. Sunday Night Football. More coming up right after this on ESPN Wisconsin.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into nonstop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee's Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
What does the skeleton say before dinner? A bon appetit. And why did the ghost go to the bar? For the booze. Yeah, Halloween jokes can be corny. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've provided the most spooktacular selection and savings in town. From skull-shaped vodka bottles and pumpkin cream liqueurs to adult trick-or-treat bags and your favorite seasonal wines and beers. We've got the spirits to get you in the spirit. Combine our selection with everyday low prices and 2 convenient locations, and Discount Liquor is the one trick-or-treat stop you can't skip. Discount Liquor, locally owned and family operated with 2 locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine. See all of our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature.
Will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Bucks basketball is back, and it's time to play. There's nothing like the energy inside Fiserv Forum. The roar of the crowd, the freakish slam dunks, the buzzer-beating threes. Catch the Bucks at home against New York Tuesday, October 28th, and Golden State Thursday, October 30th. And with the addition of Miles Turner, this season is set to be electric. Get in on the action with a ticket plan that works for you. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Get your seats now at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
One thing I would not do, 100% would not do, is retire and then, come back a year later.
That is something Aaron Rodgers never did. That's true. Something he said back in 2021. Or no, it was actually.
Is that a dig at anybody?
What's that? Yeah, it might have been.
Dig at anybody?
I can't think of a Packers quarterback that maybe did that once, twice, 3 or 4 times. Can't think of anybody that fits the bill for that. Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Stroff, you hear the voice of John Anderson and the Super Bowl champ Brian Bulaga with you. We talked about it very briefly with Jason Wilde during the Jason Wilde hour of the program, but I do think it's something that's been on my mind a lot. Obviously not this week because it's all been about Rodgers, but about the guy who replaced him, Jordan Love. Love has been, I would say, good to really good, but not quite great this season. I'm curious how you guys evaluate him and what you make of him here in year 3. As the starter and how he's played through the first 6 games of the season. John, I'll start with you. Just open air, man. How do you evaluate Jordan Love through the first 6 weeks?
He's very good. He's a top half guy. I think that, you're like, could you have anybody? There's probably maybe a few guys that I'd look at. I have to run through who I would really take over him that you're like, yeah, that for sure. That guy's an upgrade, but I still like the Packers' decision. I still don't think they wasted money because that's the going rate of getting really good quarterbacks. I do think that it takes a while to see everything you need to see in the league. I do think, as Brian and others pointed out, we were really spoiled with Aaron Rodgers. He just didn't do dumb things. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you compare him all the time to Aaron Rodgers, that's not unfair, or that's unfair if you compared him to all the rest of the quarterbacks, kind of the median, right? Or if you had a win over replacement quarterbacks, you'd go, well, that guy I'm happy to have that guy. He just every once in a while, just once a game, makes a throw or a decision that I wish he would have, but how many of us are good at our job even 98% of the time? So I know that's a lot to ask. And most of us, this is what I think we lose sometimes in quarterbacks. Most of us, even when you go like, I'm good at my job all the time. And I like to think I was, but at no point did I ever have to do my job with 280-pound guys trying to come get me while I'm doing that job. And all the other people that would help me do my job were moving, right? The guy at the camera just stands behind the camera, so he's not moving. And, think about that.
That never happened during Wipeout?
Your job.
It never happened during
Wipeout?
Wipeout?
I just stood
no
there.
Contestant ever got mad at you and ran at you thinking it was your fault? Okay.
But literally, just think about that. If you had to run the job we're doing now, but the board operator was running around, we had to go find him. And, it's constant. And then that's without anybody coming to try to injure me. So I feel like I have a lot of empathy for quarterbacks, and it's okay that every once in a while you might get a little rush blood and throw one where you shouldn't. Yeah. But it's also why they get paid. But by and large, I'm really pleased with how he's doing. And I do think that if they could get the running game a little bit better, he'd really have something. I think every once in a while, I think the quarterback sometimes plays a better game than the offensive coordinator and the guy with the headset calls, because I think that guy gets too cute.
I think he does too, especially that's come out quite a bit this season. But on Love, John, to your point, and something I've been impressed with for the first 3 years of his starting tenure is his poise. Even when he makes those mistakes, it seems like he just has such a short memory and he can come out and be composed. I think that's something that's been so impressive for him in his first 3 years as the starter. Brian, how do you view Love through the first 6 games of this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been good. Besides a few mistakes, like John said, right? I mean, I think you could point him out, right? I don't think we're like saying anything overly negative, right? Like you can point him out. The Cleveland game, I think, the mistake against Cincinnati, like those are just like obvious ones that you point out. They're like, hey, like wish we didn't do that, right? Like you just kind of look at those and you want him back, and it is what it is, right? Like, and again, it's hard to put yourself in those shoes unless you got 290-pound DNs chasing you, and the bullets are flying, and it's not. I hate to say it, but the Myles Garretts are coming at you, and you have to make decisions. Like that's really what it is, and unfortunately, like in that Cleveland game, the offensive line didn't do their jobs, and Myles Garrett was coming at him every single play. So like. Those are the kind of decisions that he has to make every single play. And I think for the most part of this season, he's done a very nice job. And he's been, for me, when you look at it last year, I think he's been really good throwing the ball downfield. I think he's been accurate throwing the ball downfield, which I think is like a really good sign to see, right? I think last year, I thought he was good in the intermediate game, right? Like I think that was something that I thought he was good at. I thought the long game was something that, like, it was kind of like, hey, man, I'd like to see him complete more balls, like, in that 20-plus range. Well, like, I think 20-plus, he's very accurate this year. I think he's completing a lot of passes further down the field and in really good accuracy, which I think is fantastic to see. It's stretching the field. The addition of Golden, obviously, will help that and continue to help that, right? And now you get Watson back. That's only going to help that. So I think he's played well. And, like, again, like kind of what you guys have said, he makes a mistake and it kind of like, just water under the bridge, and he just kind of moves on, which is like such a great trait for a quarterback. You just want to clean up some of those little things throughout a game. And again, maybe we're looking at it too much like the guy he's about to play tonight, like what he used to do. And I'm so used to that, right? Like, going to almost every game thinking he's not going to make these mistakes, and he didn't, right? Like, and that's what I always thought going into every game. Like, and when he did, if he actually did make a mistake, it was like, wow, he actually made a mistake. Like, that's the way we looked at it, right? Like, and that's, to be honest with you, and like none of us cared if he did, right? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're bound to make a mistake, but it was just very rare when he
happens,
did.
But Rodgers did it and still does it, so few and far between, despite his interceptions up a little bit this year with 5 INTs. Love has less than that, though, so we will see. All right, we've got 2 segments left. We've got to hit Best Bets, Gruber Law Office's One Call coming up next. Also, our final thoughts ahead of Packers, Steelers, Packers, Rodgers. All still ahead. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss a second of the excitement this football season. Prize Picks makes it fun to test your takes. Prize Picks is the best way to turn your knowledge right into cash. Which players are going off, which are overhyped. Make your picks in under 60 seconds and see your lineups in action this weekend. I've been playing every week. It's simple and exciting. I recently made lineups with Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Josh Allen, and watching those projections hit is a blast. Just pick more or less on at least 2 stats and hit submit. Prize Picks even gives you options. Flex Play pays even if 1 pick misses, or Power Play for the biggest payout. Stack a player multiple times, follow friends or celebrities, and check every lineup in the feed tab. Fast, secure deposits and withdrawals make it easy, too. Download the Prize Picks app today and use my code GKB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GKB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Yeah, it is. Game day in Green Bay means friends, food, football, and fun. But first, make sure your ride looks the part. Whether you're rolling up to the tailgate, headed to the watch party, or just cruising around town, a clean car sets the tone for victory. At Tsunami Express Car Wash, you'll get a fast, premium shine every time. Plus, free vacuums and detailing tools keep things looking spotless inside and out. With 13 locations and growing across Wisconsin, it's easy to swing through your way to the action. Kick off game day the right way. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
Football's back, and if you're headed up toward Green Bay, the perfect stop is Higher Love Cannabis Company, just seconds over the border in Menominee, Michigan, less than an hour from Green Bay. An easy stop before or after the game or anytime you're passing through town. And with so many low-quality, unregulated CBD products floating around Wisconsin, trust matters. Higher Love, award-winning, organically grown, locally owned, and the real deal. Higher Love Cannabis Company, best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Think about it. You take thousands of steps every day. Shouldn't every single one of them feel amazing? Well, with Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins, they can. You see, Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to design a shoe that provides amazing arch support for all-day comfort. That's right, whether you're walking all day or even just standing, Arch Fit Skechers slip-ins have the perfect sweet spot of support to give you comfort like you've never felt before. And best of all, you get all this comfort, stability, and support with the ease of Skechers Slip-ins technology. Just slip them on. No hands needed. There's no bending down and no struggling to tie your shoes. Just step in and go. If you haven't tried it, you are truly missing out. And Arch Fit Skechers Slip-ins come in practically every style you can imagine. Athletic shoes for your workout, casual sneakers for weekend errands, dress shoes for the office, even boots for those brisk, cool days. Make every step feel like a dream and try Arch Fit hands-free Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever comfortable footwear is sold.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
I'm a cheesehead, y'all cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Time now. Alex Strofe, John Anderson, Brian Balaga with you to look at our best bets for the night, which are presented by the Island Resort and Casino. The Island Resort and Casino, a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com to book your total experience today. We've talked a lot about Josh Jacobs and you know the need and desire for the Packers to get him going offensively. His rushing line only 66.5 yards tonight. He's been at 66 or above 4 of 6 games this season. So I like the over on 66.5 rushing yards for Josh Jacobs tonight. I think they're going to hammer him early and often, and if it's working, well, this should be a pretty easy one. Something I think we've all talked about quite a bit is the desire to see Josh Jacobs get going. That is your best bet, presented by the Island Resort and Casino. Guys, want to get to our one call, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices, where we each make one prediction for the upcoming game. One thing we think is going to happen. John, I believe you nailed it last week, right? You had 2.5 for Micah? Or was it you, Blue? Sorry,
Me.
Blue had that?
My bad. No.
I listen. Mine are right so often they all run properly. Is what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you're right.
Let's go with that.
All right. So, well, if they're right so often, let's be right again. John, the floor is yours.
In a rare thing, because I think the number normally would be 0, and so it's not huge on a limb. But Aaron's going to throw one to us tonight, and that's not something he usually does. And if it was any other quarterback, you'd be like, well, duh. Right. Of course they're going to throw a pick. They all do that. But I think he's going to throw one to us, but I think it's going to be in a big spot.
Ooh.
I don't think it's going to be a, oh, look, the Hail Mary, although that would probably better to have been a completion. No, I don't think it's going to be one of those. I don't think it's going to be a, just some sort of careless thing in the first quarter or something. And I think the game will be in the balance in some crucial spot. And it's going to happen because the defense will have made a good play, right? So when I say he's going to throw it to it, it will not be casual. I think somewhere in there, the defense will make a good play and get one from him, which again, I think against most quarterbacks, you'd go like, John, that's Jay Cutler. How about you make that number 3 instead of just 1? But I think in Aaron, maybe 1 seems to be a significant number.
Yeah, I have no problem with that from you. We will let our reigning champion and Brian Bulaga go last, so I will go here. And
a belt?
Yeah, we should get one. We should send it around the country to you two. Display it proudly at your home studios. I'm just going to go with this. I think Christian Watson has a 20-plus yard reception tonight. I think he comes back in a big way with a 20-plus yard reception in his season debut coming off that ACL tear. Again, I would imagine we're going to see some sort of a snap count. He's probably not going to be a full go, but I think he makes an impact in his first game of the season. So a 20-plus yard reception from Christian Watson tonight is Mike Gruber Office's one call. The reigning champ, Brian Bulaga.
All right. I'm going to go because I think it's going to be – it's easy to go Jacobs touchdown or 2, right? I think that's easy. Like I think Jacobs is going to get in the end zone. I think that's like a no-brainer. I'm going to go Tucker Kraft with 2 touchdowns tonight. I think Tucker Kraft, big red zone target tonight, big red zone threat. Because I think Pittsburgh they know that they're they're getting chirped at about their defense, right? And probably Jacobs getting talked about being a big run threat and down there in the red zone, they got to stop Jacobs. Maybe play action comes alive tonight. Tucker Kraft. I'm just thinking about it. And Tucker Kraft's the guy that comes alive down there in the red zone. I know Dobbs does as well, but Tucker Kraft is a guy that if you want to get the ball to quick, TJ Watt ripping off the edge, your tight end's your best friend on tight ends day, right, Alex?
National Tight Ends Day, National Mother-in-Law Day. Big day.
Yeah.
Big day.
Knew it was coming.
So for me, I'm going to go Kraft sees the end zone twice tonight. That's where I'm going.
Happy Tight Ends Day to all involved. I love that. Gruber Offices.
All of those who celebrate Happy Tight Ends Day.
That's correct.
Yes. You observe the holiday. Congratulations.
Gruber Offices has a reputation for winning. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There's never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people in the state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. Final thoughts ahead of Packers Steelers coming up next as we wrap up Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into nonstop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee's Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
What does the skeleton say before dinner? A bon appetit. And why did the ghost go to the bar? For the booze. Yeah, Halloween jokes can be corny. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've provided the most spooktacular selection and savings in town. From skull-shaped vodka bottles and pumpkin cream liqueurs to adult trick-or-treat bags and your favorite seasonal wines and beers. We've got the spirits to get you in the spirit. Combine our selection with everyday low prices and 2 convenient locations, and Discount Liquor is the one trick-or-treat stop you can't skip. Discount Liquor, locally owned and family operated with 2 locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine. See all of our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Goldsmiths are essential to running a jewelry store, but they're extremely hard to find.
Goldsmiths can repair jewelry, set diamonds, resize rings, and create beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces of custom jewelry.
Most jewelry stores do not have an in-house goldsmith.
But Kessler's has 18 wonderful goldsmiths working in our 9 Kessler stores.
The average Kessler's goldsmith has more than 15 years of full-time experience.
And that's not counting all the apprentice goldsmiths and jewelry designers.
Our goldsmiths repair a lot of jewelry that we did not sell.
Bring us your broken jewelry and we'll bring it back to life.
When you see a woman with an extremely attractive, very distinctive engagement ring,
you can safely assume that it's a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind ring made by the goldsmiths at Kessler's.
When your relationship is special, you need a special engagement ring.
If you want something that's breathtakingly one-of-a-kind,
come to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
For over 40 years, the Boucher Automotive Group is proud to have served Wisconsin with dedication and heart, one customer at a time. But we knew we could do even more.
In the last 5 years, we've expanded across the state, adding new locations, new brands, and new ways to better serve you.
At Boucher, growth isn't always about being bigger. It's about being better. Better selection, better service, better experiences.
Where you're going matters, and Boucher is driven to get you there. The Boucher Automotive Group. We ride with you every mile.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Wrapping up Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strofe, John Anderson, Super Bowl champion Brian Balaga with you for just a few more minutes as we get you set for Packers Steelers on Sunday Night Football. And a reminder, you can watch with a bunch of our ESPN Milwaukee crew, a watch party on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee during the game as Aaron Rodgers faces his former team. Ben Brush, Josh DiMaggio, Will Summers, Gabe Knight. So we'll all be with you on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee watching this one with you. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but that's kind of always how I am at this point of the show, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure is. Yep.
Okay.
Sure
right.
is.
Glad we're all on the same page.
Yep.
Waiting for you to throw up.
No, I'm not much of a puker. It's just more I'm more of a pacer, so I'll walk around. It annoys the hell out of my girlfriend. I walk around the living room yelling expletives as one does. But anyway, John, how are you expecting this one to go between the Packers and the Steelers?
Well, first where I'm going to go, I want to show you this swinger here. Look at that. Can you see that guy in the background here in the newsroom?
Give us 1 second to go full screen, and then we might be able to. Yes. Oh, the cheesehead.
Yes. There you go.
Look at that.
So we got that swinger here in Columbia, Missouri. I'm not going to be watching alone tonight when it comes through.
That's great.
So I have run the numbers. It's a pretty complicated formula, but it comes out like this. If the Packers score 27, they'll win. If they score less than that, then they lose. And if they score more than that, they tie.
Sure.
So they're going to score 27 tonight, and the Steelers are going to score 26. And the Packers will win by the hair on their chinny chin.
Fun. Okay, I like that. It's a close one, and that's what I'm worried about against the old man who, if he has the ball in his hands towards the end of the game, that's where it gets a little bit scary. I've got the Steelers tonight, fellas. First time all year I'm picking the Packers to lose. I'm going Pittsburgh 27-24. I think it's within a field goal. I think McManus playing might come back to bite. As Aaron Rodgers becomes the 7th quarterback in NFL history to beat every franchise. I've got Steelers 27, Packers 24.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Oh, man. I'm going to go Green Bay 24, Pittsburgh 21.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Well, nobody's picking a blowout, and I think that's probably a good choice. I think this one's going to be a fun
game coming.
Yeah,
get right game
regardless.
next week.
Regardless of the way you look at it, it is a get right game.
Can't get right unless you get wrong, and I think that's what happens at Acrisure Stadium /Heinz Field tonight. Fellas, always fun. We'll do it again in a couple weeks. All right.
See you
all right.
The ESPN Wisconsin watch party starts in a few minutes on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. And, of course, Homer, Mark Tasher, Gary Ellerson, Jason Wilde got you immediately following the final whistle after Sunday Night Football. Going to be a late one on Green Bay Game Night tonight. Hope you can join us right here on ESPN Wisconsin. This has been Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win